you tonight. David, how are you?
Sam, I'm doing great. It's actually a beautiful night for high school football in South Carolina. There's a little bit of heat, right? But you feel that starting to go away as the night's coming in, the sun's setting in the background. We see the two teams practicing on the field doing their indie drills. It's going to be a great game filled with a lot of offense. I'm really excited.
Yeah, definitely shaping up to be a real exciting one as both of these teams scoring over 40 points in Week 0 just 7 days ago. We'd like to thank all of our sponsors at this time for making it possible for us to bring you Pendleton Bulldog football. Once again, the title sponsor is Longhorn Steakhouse of the Clemson-Seneca area. Also, Rains on Exchange, Rogers Petroleum Incorporated, Guy's Pizza, Black Tie of Anderson, Pendleton Historic Foundation, Gettin Chili Ice Cream Truck, Wes Cox Attorney at Law, Liberty Hall Bed and Breakfast, United Community Bank, Foothills Church, and Crenshaws TV and Appliances, Tiger Express Wash, McDougald's Funeral Home, and Mac.bid. Thank you so much to all of our great sponsors who make it possible for us to bring you Pendleton football night in and night out each and every Friday. Well, David, kind of a new opportunity this week. We are obviously not at Pendleton High School. Pendleton is the home team for this game. We are in Newberry, South Carolina, so incredibly unique opportunity tonight to play at a neutral site, not something that you see high school teams do very often.
Yeah, we're at Setzler Field at Newberry College. I mean, you see the bright red on the field, representing the SAC of the conference. And I think that it's just a great opportunity for both teams, for their players to really showcase themselves, get a look. Some of the Newberry College coach is probably going to be here. We know Newberry's offered Abijah Webb of the Pendleton Bulldogs. We know that it's just a great opportunity for so many players to play locally, but at the next stage, at the next level. Beautiful campus for my first time here, and I think I was kind of blown away with how good it was, for the certain type of school it is. It's very cool. We're right across from the Founders Federal Credit Union Fieldhouse. We're in the booth on this side, and it's just a lot of fun.
Yeah, definitely going to be a lot of fun here tonight. A little bit about the Keenan Raiders. They're under the direction of first-year interim head coach Jarrett Neely, who previously served as the offensive coordinator for the Raiders. Obviously, we know Coach Howell is in his 4th season as the head coach of the Pendleton Bulldogs, his 6th overall season as a head coach in the high school ranks. Keenan last year, 5-6 overall, 3-3 in their region, lost in the second round of the playoffs, 16-15 their last 3 seasons, but 3 playoff appearances. So obviously a school that is used to a lot of winning from the Midlands of South Carolina. They are from Region 4, moved up to 3A this season from 2A. And based on the film we watched, David, pretty dynamic quarterback and receiver that we've seen so far on tape.
Yeah, they have a lot of speed, right? And they're going to want to get their playmakers out in space, right? The trenches, still pretty good. You're getting good bump off the ball, right? Great first steps is what I saw. And I think that there's going to be a lot of points scored in this game. But I think whichever defense really hunkers down, maybe forces that extra turnover, gets that extra stop on third down, is going to be the victor tonight. And I think that could be the Pendleton Bulldogs, given knowing more of their defensive talent than what I saw on tape for Keenan.
This is the Guy's Pizza pregame show. We are absolutely thrilled to bring you Pendleton football here tonight from Newberry College for the matchup with the Keenan Raiders. Let's look back at last week, David, and obviously we knew that the talent was there for Jace Gross. We weren't sure how it was going to translate immediately, but boy did it. 316 passing yards, 16 of 24 through the air, and 5 passing touchdowns to just 1 interception. How great was Gross last week?
Gross was phenomenal, right? First game. We mentioned last week it was his first time ever playing football that late, right? He had never played after 7:30, I believe he said. So, wow, that's crazy. His first time playing organized football, high school football, and he showed up and showed out. 5 touchdowns compared to only 1 interception on an RPO. Ran the ball extraordinarily well when he had to. Jace Gross looked like a veteran high school starter in just his first start. That's why he's one of the top-ranked 2028 quarterbacks in the entire country, and is already garnering interest from Division I teams.
And then joining him in the backfield, I thought number 9 running back Bray Spears was actually pretty good as well. caught a touchdown pass, ran for a touchdown, had well over 7 yards per carry. And how huge is it when you have a passing attack and a rushing attack, David, that is this prolific?
Right. Ross is such a sponge for information, and he's got great veterans on this high school squad to lead him forward, like Spear, a junior, who dealt with injury last season, now has really come into his own. He's able to get in the second level consistently. He's got really, really strong legs, wide shoulders, that classic workhorse bell cow running back build, right? He's consistently hitting the holes inside, and he's able to cut back when he needs to and reverse the field, right? He has the speed, he has the size, and he has the power to be a great bell cow for the Pendleton Bulldogs this season.
And we can't move on from the offense without talking about the phenom that is number 24, the senior wide receiver, Abijah Webb. And he was masterful last week. 3 touchdowns, 2 receiving, and 1 rushing. Just an absolutely incredible performance by Abijah Webb. What are you looking to see here tonight from Abijah?
What I'm looking to see with Abijah is consistency, play to play to play, right? Because we know he has that game-wrecking talent, and he had a phenomenal game last week, but he can get tired, right? Because when you're going to a guy like that so much, I mean, it's just natural, right? So what can the offense do, and what can Abijah do to stay fresh, to get it going, and to make sure that they're getting the most out of every single play? Because with Abijah's 100%, every play could be a big play.
Absolutely. Always have that explosive potential when number 24 is on the field, and when you couple that with how good Jace Gross was in his debut, the ceiling is incredibly high for these Pendleton Bulldogs, especially on the offensive side. Then going over the defense, how about the game that Trent Garner had last week? 9 tackles, 1 sack, and 2 quarterback pressures outside of those sacks. What's it going to take for him to replicate that performance and continue to be the game breaker that he was last week?
Right. I think what Trent needs to do today to do what he did last week is just be Trent Gardner, right? Like, that kid has a motor, like Coach Al said, like no other kid he's ever seen. I can attest to that. He's got one of the best motors of any defensive player and offensive player that I've ever seen watching high school football. Man, he just goes 100 miles an hour, but it's precise. It's not erratic. It's not too fast where his head's flying off. No, it's controlled and powerful, right? Garner, that buck linebacker in the defense, all 6'2", 190 of them. He's coming every single play. He can play the run, right? He can get outside, but where he's really at his best is walking up as that extra, guy on the line in this 3-3 stack defense and generating pressure from there. No matter where he is, no matter where he's coming from, the defense is going to have a great chance because the offense cannot stop Trent Garner one-on-one.
This is the Guys Pizza pregame show. We're getting you ready. We're about 21 minutes away from kickoff between the Pendleton Bulldogs and the Keenan Raiders. The first ever matchup between these two schools. We're ready to have a lot of fun tonight. Let's take a moment to hear from all of our sponsors. Pendleton Historic Foundation. Attention, ghost hunters. Imagine it's dark and you're being led by candlelight through a 200-year-old haunted plantation home. Sound scary? Sound fun? Don't miss your chance to be part of this once-a-year only event. Visit www.pendletonhistoricfoundation.org and purchase tickets to the wildly popular Pendleton Ghost Tours. Limited tickets will be sold. Not for the faint of heart, and no one under 17 admitted. Call John at 864-646-7249 or visit www.pendletonhistoricfoundation.org today. Pendleton Historic Foundation, preserving and interpreting Pendleton's history. Go Bulldogs. Is your vehicle in need of a wash right now? Visit any Tiger Express wash location in Clemson, Easley, Pendleton, or Seneca, and you can be through the tunnel with a clean, dry car in about 3.5 minutes. Plus, with the Anywhere Unlimited Fast Pass, keep that shine with a wash as often as you like at any of the upstate locations. Customers enjoy an eco-friendly, fun jungle theme and free vacuum use. Tiger Express Wash. More locations, same quality care. Why not beat the heat with a cool, sweet treat? Book Gettin Chili, your hometown traditional ice cream truck, for your next event. You can find and like us on Facebook and call 864-844-4384 to book us for your next event. That is 864-844-4384, Gettin Chili Ice Cream Truck. Liberty Hall is a 10-room bed and breakfast with ensuite baths in historic Pendleton. available for those traveling to our area and local getaways. Liberty Hall venue is a great location for wedding receptions, corporate meetings, parties, and events. Call Liberty Hall today for your next event. Are you in the market for a new washer or dryer? How about a new refrigerator or a new range? Maybe you would rather have a new state-of-the-art TV and home theater system with surround sound. If so, be sure to go see the folks at Crenshaws TV and Appliance for the finest selection, advice, and service after the sale. Open 24/7 at www.tvandappliance.com, proud sponsor of the Pendleton Bulldogs. Looking for a place to connect and build community? Join us at Foothills Church in Pendleton. We meet every Sunday at 10 a.m. at Pendleton High School. Whether you're new to exploring faith, looking for a new church home, you're welcome here. Come experience uplifting worship, a message with real-life application, and a community that cares. That's Foothills Church, Sundays at 10 a.m. at Pendleton High School. We can't wait to see you there. Cox Law Firm in Pendleton is proud to sponsor the Bulldogs. For help in real estate, wills, probate, or your small business, go see Cox Law Firm in Pendleton. They're as tough and quick on your legal needs as the Bulldogs on a Friday night. Go to westcoxlaw.com after tonight's victory party to make your appointment. With more than 70 years of proven performance and the best bankers in the industry, United Community Bank is one of the strongest and most secure banks in the Southeast. They are proud to have just won their 10th J.D. Power Award for Best Customer Satisfaction in the Southeast, and they were recognized by J.D. Power as the #1 most trusted bank. They are headquartered in Greenville, South Carolina, making them the largest bank headquartered in the Palmetto State. Visit the local Pendleton, South Carolina branch for all your banking needs. Guy's Pizza in Sandy Springs is the official pizza of Pendleton High School football. Come see us on Highway 76 right across the street from the Michelin plant in Sandy Springs. We're the home of the famous award-winning Bird Dog Pizza, along with many other specialty pizzas. We also have wings, calzones, strombolis, hot subs, dessert pizza, and much more. To place an order, call 864-375-1410 or stop by and dine in with us. Proudly serving the area for over 10 years. Thank you so much to all our sponsors to make it possible for us to bring you Pendleton Bulldog football. Thank you to our title sponsor, Longhorn Steakhouse of the Clemson-Seneca area. This is the Guy's Pizza pregame show. And, David, we had the opportunity to watch film with Coach Grayson Howell on Monday. And during that time, we were able to kind of learn about the RPO offense that Pendleton runs. And I think it'd be awesome if we could kind of educate our listeners in a sense of what we learned and what we really saw on tape there.
Right, of course. Right, of course. We don't want to give too much away, right, because every coach has its secrets, right? You know, this is about game plan, fair and square, right? But what I can tell you is this RPO offense is options all over, right? And Jace Gross has so much leg room to do whatever he wants, and that's the amount of trust that they have in him, right? So usually you're going to be getting a doubles or a triple set, right? If you're going to be doing an RPO, right? That's so much freedom. They have designated pass plays, but pretty much every run you're going to have the option to throw a pass, right? And I think that's great. It gives everybody so much freedom, and it really allows Jace to spread the ball around to all of the playmakers that he has on offense. I mean, look, Spear, Cahaley, Webb, Scott, Jennings, and Ty Miller, the tight end who even scored a touchdown on what was a broken play last week, right? So much freedom in this offense, right? You're going to have a lot of plays in the RPO offense where Gross is going to have the opportunity to hand it off, right? He's going to be reading the box, but first he's going to be reading the outside, right? He's going to read his receivers like, hey, do we have enough space to throw this, right? Or are we going to go short to the boundary on, his throwing side usually, right? He's usually going to look to his right side because he's a righty, right? And then he's going to read that box. If he reads the box and he gives it to Spear or, Jenkins, if Deshaun Jenkins is in there, he'll give it off. If not, he has the opportunity to run with it, right? So much freedom because Gross is such a great athlete and because there's so many playmakers on this offense. It makes for a fun show, and you're going to have a lot of set, deep passing plays as well.
Definitely a loaded holster of weapons for our co-offensive coordinators Ike Allred and Jordan Williams serving as co-offensive coordinators for the Pendleton Bulldogs. Defensively, David, obviously we talked about it a little bit earlier. Kendall Turman going down with an injury last week. going to have Dylan Hart stepping up in his place for the defense. The defensive coordinator is Jeremy Johnson. They're kind of going to have their hands full with this Keenan offense, who scored 40 points last week, namely Desmond Washington at quarterback and Tyheem McNeil from what we saw. What do you need to see from the defense and from the defensive line just to kind of supplement the loss of Kendall Turman?
Right. So the defense was put in bad position for the couple of scoring drives last week. However, there were still a lot of penalties, and a lot of that has to do with ironing out first-game kinks, right? Everybody's going a million miles an hour, anchored by the leaders on the defense, which you love to see, but you need to really shore it up, make sure you're disciplined in between the lines, and getting as much as you can out of every single play, and really anchoring to your coverages, right? Wherever you're going to be, if you're blitzing, if you're in 2, 3, 4, whatever it is where you got guys back, you got to make sure everybody's on the same page and ready to play the run and the pass. I think this defense is going to need just unity and a lot of discipline, right? You cannot have as many penalties as you had last weekend, because the offense last weekend for Chesney was a lot less dynamic than the offense is for Keenan tonight.
And then in terms of the special teams, last week we saw Matthew Chapman and Bailey Gilbert kind of battling it out for that place kicker position, and it looks like Chapman has kind of solidified himself as that guy in the place kicking role, both on kickoffs and on extra points and field goals. Love that we saw from him last week. And with that, it is time for the starting lineups, sponsored by Lindley Park Post-Acute Care. And my good friend David over here is going to bring them to you.
Yes, absolutely. Lindley Park Post-Acute Care. Thank you so much for sponsoring the starting lineups for Pendleton versus Keenan on a great Friday night. The starting lineups first for Keenan. At quarterback, number 7, Desmond Washington. At running back, number 8, Hunter O'Neill. Number 1 at wide receiver, Tyheem McNeil. Number 11 at wide receiver, Dion Hollins. Number 10, wide receiver, Nykeem McNeil. Number 4, wide receiver, A.J. King. At center, number 71, Quayshawn Hampton. At right guard, number 52, Ethan Jackson. At right tackle, number 66, Mike Swinton. At left guard, Jose Boone, number 70. And at left tackle, Victor O'Neill, number 53. Right, so that's a lot of the Keenan offense. That's really where you're going to get. Desmond Washington and Hunter O'Neill, those are going to be your thunder and lightning, right? Because Washington has a cannon of an arm, right? He has a cannon of his arm that he can just absolutely chuck it, even when he's under pressure. He's got an arm slot that allows you to really go wherever you want over the field and the strength to provide it, right? He can also use his legs. He's very dynamic if he can get into the open space, just as O'Neill. Right, O'Neill has a lot of speed and is great as a running back at hitting the boundary and really getting all the way to the sideline, maximizing yards out of every single play with great running back instinct. Right, now we move to the defense. On the defensive line, we have Tyreek Davenport Smith, number 5. Number 75, Nigel Williams at defensive line. At defensive line, number 55, Warren Bailey. And also at defensive line, number 62, Alan Lovett. At linebacker, number 9, Tyquez Taylor. Number 25, Tymere Coleman, and number 50, Conrad Hampton. And in the secondary, we have number 2, Corey Williams, number 12, Adonis Evans, number 6, Thomas Lovett, and number 21, Xavier Collins. Right, so a lot of talent on that defense there. I just wonder if they're going to be able to keep up with the RPO style. Right, this is not a lot that they've seen, but last week against Dreher, they did see a lot of motion. Right, and you're going to be seeing that ability with the Pendleton offense tonight. So maybe last week prepped them, because Dreher did a lot of motioning the halfback out of the backfield, right, and then running with their quarterback or throwing it to the other side of the field, right? So if they're able to adapt to that, then it may help them in a really choice-based offense like Pendleton competing against them. Right, now we're going to move to Pendleton's starting offense, the starting offense for your Pendleton Bulldog. Once again, number 12, the starting quarterback, Jace Gross. At running back, number 9, Bray Spear. At wide receiver, number 1, Nash Cahaley. Abijah Webb, number 24. Ham Scott, number 3. And Sam Jennings, number 8. And at tight end, playing, when they don't go in an all-wide receiver formation, it's number 10, Ty Miller. On the offensive line, it's at left tackle, number 51, Jaden Wilson. At left guard, number 73, Garrett Ray. At center, number 54, Walker Dunlap. At right guard, number 56, Gaines Buchanan. And at right tackle, number 70, Corday Chapman. right? So a lot of dynamic offensive players for Pendleton, right? Obviously, it's going to be Gross, Webb, Spear. Those are the three guys you really have to know. But so many other playmakers, like Ham Scott, huge plays last week. 2 catches for 68 yards and a touchdown. A lot of big play potential. Great hands, able to go up and get the football. We saw Sam Jennings have a couple of big plays, like right over the middle, and just use his legs to keep on churning and get over the middle of the field for some couple of big plays. Haley could even be involved more, as we see how Gross develops to the offense. And 5 touchdowns last week, could expand on that this week. The offensive line did a great job last week on both the run and the pass. And for a season debut, that's one of the best offensive line performances I've seen in a while. On the defense coordinator Jeremy Johnson, of course, I forgot to mention OCs Ike Alred and Jordan Williams for the Pendleton offense, like Sam had already mentioned. But DC Jeremy Johnson for the Pendleton Bulldog starting defense. At corner, it's going to be number 2, Jamari Johnson. At free safety, it's going to be number 21, Cody Williams. At strong safety, it's going to be number 25, Zymir Collymore. At other cornerback, it's going to be number 15, Jaron Bryant, or number 24, Abijah Webb. At rover, it's going to be number 6, Jamari Chapman. At weak side linebacker, it's going to be number 13, Dax Allen. At middle linebacker, it's going to be number 11, Calhoun Mize. And at buck linebacker, it's going to be number 5, Trent Garner. On the defensive line, it's going to be number 34, Carson Gregory at defensive end. Number 53, Fisher Sailors at the other defensive end. And at nose guard, it's going to be number 74, Dylan Hart starting. But we also will see a little bit of number 90, Andy Brock. The defense is going to come hard and come aggressive, right? The defense is going to be there and be able to hit hard, play fast, and just bring their A game every play. A lot of talent there, a lot of speed, a little bit of undersize in the front 7, especially on the defensive line. But the defensive line, they make up for it with brute strength and heart.
Thank you so much, David, for familiarizing us with the rosters and the starting lineups from both sides. It looks like we got a little bit of time before the national anthem. So, Dave, would you give us some keys to the game, if you will?
Yeah, absolutely. Before that, I do want to get into special teams that I did forget to say. At long snapper, number 35, Gavin Yeomans. At place kicker, number 95, Matthew Chapman will be doing the kickoffs as well. And at punter and holder, number 8, Sam Jennings. Right? So the keys to the game. Number 1, as Coach Al mentioned with us earlier this week, this is not a normal Friday. Right? For both squads, they had to get out of school early and make sure that they are driving over and getting here early to practice, familiar themselves with the environment, right? It's not a normal Friday. They got to treat it as such. It's a big game at a big-time stage. Number 2, interim head coach Jared Neely and Coach Grayson Howell, just going back and forth. And number 3, no Kendall Turman at nose tackle.
And here is the national anthem brought to you by Pendleton Historic Foundation.
And right on through the day, over ramparts we walk, was so glad. And the road is red of my soul. Sing on, yeah, through the night that I had. Oh, still red. Oh, say, oh, that's why. Oh, the rain and the breeze and the
That was our national anthem brought to you by Pendleton Historic Foundation. Just about wrapping up the Guys Pizza pregame show. You're listening to Pendleton Football, sponsored by Longhorn Steakhouse. And it looks like the Dogs are starting their walk into the stadium, David. And I got to assume those are our captains there in the front.
Yeah, got to assume that. We'll see the captains as they come to field. But first, what a national anthem. They played the rendition of Chris Stapleton's Super Bowl performance. Fires me up, Sam. I'm sure it's firing up both sides as you see the Keenan Raiders right now on the far end zone, right, all the way to our right. So we're going that way. That's where they're about to make our ends, is their lovely cheerleading squad's holding up the flag right now. It seems like they're going to run through it, and our Bulldogs coming down right now to the 50-yard line, at least the captains are. Teams are ready to go. You can feel the energy in the stadium. It's a big-time game. You can feel the atmosphere. The speaker system's blaring. I'm getting a great musical feel like coming a little bit, so maybe I'll break out a song. I'm just kidding. But, man, this is exciting. You're going to see a lot of talent, and we hope to provide you the best we can for this entire game.
And then quickly, David, before we get into the captains and kickoff here, about 3.5 minutes away, how about a uniform report for these Pendleton Bulldogs and the opposing Keenan Raiders?
So absolutely. The Pendleton Bulldogs are in their black and gold uniforms, right? Black uniforms, gray pants, and gold pants and those gold helmets. Beautiful, beautiful. That uniform sport is sponsored by Black Tie of Anderson. Now looking at Keenan, they are in their whites with a little tinge of yellow and blue, and the numbers are in black. So it's going to be black Pendleton versus the white uniform in Keenan.
Getting ready for the coin toss here at Setzler Field in Newberry, South Carolina, are your Pendleton Bulldogs and the Keenan Raiders. Captains for Pendleton, number 24, Abijah Webb. Number 28, Jacarius Davis Sullivan. Number 22, Dalton Nix. And number 21, Cody Williams. For Keenan, it's wide receiver number 1, Tyhee McNeil. Number 10, also wide receiver, Nykeem McNeil. Number 55, a senior, Warren Bailey. And senior number 75, Nigel Williams. Just about 2 minutes away from kickoff. And the captains are shaking hands as they get ready for this matchup. David, how special is this? A neutral site opportunity between the Pendleton Bulldogs and the Keenan Raiders.
Right, the Keenan Raiders and the Pendleton Bulldogs going head-to-head. The first time in South Carolina high school football history, these two teams, both in 3A, are facing off. This is going to be a great game, offensive side of the ball, and it's crucial for the end of the season in 3A ranking when the season's coming. Right now, according to Max Preps, Pendleton the number 3 seed in 3A, and the Keenan Raiders have so much potential to improve after last season's 5-6 record.
Looking ahead to next week, the Bulldogs will be on the road at Woodmont High School, still in that non-region slate before we get further into the season for region games. The toss is going on right now. Looks like Keenan has won the toss. We will let you know what they have decided momentarily, just about a minute away from kickoff. This is Pendleton Football, sponsored by Longhorn Steakhouse. I want to take a second to thank all of our sponsors once again for letting us bring you Pendleton Football. Rains on Exchange, Rogers Petroleum, Guys Pizza, Black Tie of Anderson, Pendleton Historic Foundation, Gettin Chili Ice Cream Truck, West Cox Attorney at Law, Liberty Hall Bed and Breakfast, United Community Bank, Foothills Church, Crenshaws TV and Appliances, Tiger Express Wash, McDougald's Funeral Home, Mac.bid, Lindley Park Post Acute Care, and, of course, our title sponsor, Longhorn Steakhouse. Both teams getting ready to make their entrances from opposite end zones. On our left, on the near end zone, are the Pendleton Bulldogs, and on our right are the Keenan Raiders getting ready to run through their sign over there as well. I believe while we were thanking our sponsors, am I correct to say that Keenan won the toss and elected to receive? I believe that's the case here, and here come the Bulldogs. The Bulldogs once again in their black tops with gold stripes and gold numerals, gold pants with black stripes, with 2 black stripes and 1 gold stripe. down the sides.
Now to mention, Sam, the game right now in Newberry taking place an hour and a half away from Pendleton High School, right? So you gotta wonder how that factors in, right? You're meeting in the middle between these two teams, but new place, longer drive, gotta love those team bus rides. I think that both teams are going to be fired up coming out the gate, right? You cannot let a long ride, really deter your momentum.
Absolutely, and the Bulldogs are looking to build on the momentum that they got started last week in a 47-21 drubbing of the Chesney Eagles. That score not even really indicative of what kind of game it was. Chesney scoring on 3 drives in which they started within the 35-yard line of the Bulldogs, and here they come getting ready to kick it off and kick off this Week 1 matchup between two teams that are 1-0. Setting it down on the tee is Matthew Chapman. He's getting ready to get things started for us.
And Chapman really won the job last week, making all of his PATs and booting it on kickoff, opposed to Bailey Gilbert, who really couldn't take advantage of his opportunity.
Back deep to return for the Raiders is senior wide receiver number 1, Tyhee McNeil. And we are just about ready for action here at Newberry College Setzler Field for this neutral site game between the Pendleton Bulldogs and the Keenan Raiders. Pendleton, the designated home team, facing the designated visiting team, the Keenan Raiders. Hearing the sounds of Setzler Field here at Newberry College, and the kick is away. It's going to be down in the end zone for a touchback. A great kick by Matthew Chapman. And so it will be the Keenan Raiders starting things off on offense.
Yeah, they use a lot of hammer, right? That's their main formation that they use the most, right? Where they have, a tight end and another H-back, to one side of the quarterback, and they go in the direction. Usually, of course, there's counters off of that, pass plays off of that, but that's really what they're going to be using for the most part, right? Interesting to see if they start off in that hammer formation here, Sam.
So 1st and 10 for Keenan as we get underway here at Newberry College. Desmond Washington, the signal caller for Keenan, and just about ready to get things going here at Setzler Field. Got one man in the backfield beside Washington. That is O'Neal that we mentioned. 4 wide receivers, 2 to each side. Here's the snap. They'll give it to O'Neal. It gets over to the left side, and he is met by several Bulldogs, including number 13, Dax Allen.
Right. So they come out in doubles, right? They really want to spread out the Pendleton defense to start. And O'Neal really, after kind of maybe a little miscommunication on the handoff, O'Neal really able to take advantage of it, and he's able to get a couple yards through a nice hole, but a great job of the Pendleton Bulldog defense ceasing very quickly on what could have been a bigger gain.
Gain of 3 on that play brings up 2nd and 7 from the 23-yard line. This time trips to the right for Keenan. One receiver to the boundary here on the left. Washington takes the snap, gives it again to O'Neal, and he's off and running on the right side. Gets back to the line of scrimmage, but doesn't get much more after that as he is taken down by Jamari Chapman for a short gain of about 3 yards.
Yeah, Jamari Chapman really, getting to the other side of the field from his rover position. He was lined up on the right? He was able to get all the way over there, back to the left of the defense and make that tackle on O'Neal, who, again, hit the hole with a lot of speed.
3rd and 3, back into doubles are Keenan. They'll look to get the play over from the sideline. Thought they were going to go quick. They decide to slow it down a little bit. Now they take the snap, but there's some movement, and it looks like they're going to back themselves up as the defensive line of Pendleton is clapping. I think we have a false start, and we do.
Right. Of course, interim head coach Jarrett Neely. With an interim head coach, you're going to have some of those, little bells and whistles you got to kick out, man. A lot of discipline needs to be instilled to win a football game, as I've already mentioned too many times before. I apologize, but, man, Keenan really needs to take advantage of good field position and good opening drives if they want to hang in this game.
Huge break for the Bulldogs. A 3rd and 3 is now a 3rd and 8. Back in doubles on the left side is Tyhee McNeil on the close side to us. Here comes the snap to Washington. He's looking for a guy to find on throw, and he completes the pass to number 1, Tyhee McNeil, for a big first down. Had a lot of pressure in his face from Calhoun Mize, but able to get a wobbler out to McNeil and pick up the first down for the Raiders.
Right, so the linebacker that DC Jeremy Johnson sends there is the middle linebacker, Calhoun Mize, right? He gets good pressure on Washington, but Washington able to stay in the pocket and really deal with the pressure and throw right in the face of it, right, a dot to number 1 Tahim McNeil.
1st and 10 from the 34. It's another handoff to O'Neal. Gets past the line of scrimmage and for an additional about 4 yards. Nice tackle there on the counter right for Keenan.
Right, so now you're seeing the counter, right? They've used the inside zone, now they're using the counter, right? So we know Pendleton is a big counter team, right? They love the counter. I think Keenan really likes it as well, right, based on what we saw on film. You're going to get a lot of opportunities, running the ball to O'Neal.
Washington takes the snap. He's looking to fire quickly, and he does to Tahim McNeil. It's caught. Screen pass in the backfield, and he gets pretty close to the first down. It'll depend on where they mark him. Looks like it's going to be just short. No, they're going to give him the first down. So a nice, quick developing play there for Keenan, and it'll move the chains for a first down. Just underway here from Newberry College. 9:26 to go in the first quarter. We are scoreless.
Yeah, couldn't even be closer, right, on that first down call. It was right there. They gave him the first down. Great job by Washington, hitting the, I guess you want to call it like a back screen, a little wide receiver screen on the out. Just great job to McNeil and making the most out of it with his speed.
Tight end package here, and it's going to be a handoff once again to O'Neal, but he doesn't get much, if anything at all, as there are a host of Bulldogs meeting him right there at the line of scrimmage. Really the first truly impactful play by this defensive line to not let O'Neal get positive yardage there. 2nd and 10.
Right, that's the first really shutdown of O'Neal, and a great job by Carson Gregory, really, just taking his blocker and just moving him back behind the line of scrimmage, blowing up that play from the get-go.
This Keenan offense a lot different than what we'll see pace-wise than from Pendleton. Pendleton liking to go fast. Keenan here taking its time a little bit slower here so far. 2 receivers to the right, 1 motioning now to the left. It's going to be a handoff on the jet sweep to McNeil once again. He gets out to the left, the near sideline, but he's shoved out of bounds by number 11 Calhoun Mize and number 21 Cody Williams. Nice job diagnosing that jet sweep and a nice run by Tahim McNeil.
Right, so McNeil comes in the jet sweep from the far side to the near side, right? They set it up with the inside zone before that play. They let McNeil come down with all of his speed, and he breaks a couple tackles, but he's really not able to get anywhere, despite using so much open space on the near side, horizontally.
Big 3rd down for the Bulldogs. A second opportunity to get off the field. Desmond Washington takes the snap in the empty formation, has plenty of time surveying the field, downfield. He'll fire for number 11, and it's picked off. No, it's a deflection by Abijah Webb, nearly an interception, as the intended receiver there for Desmond Washington was number 11, Dion Hollis. And a great job by Abijah Webb to close in and get the pass breakup. Nearly had an interception there. Nonetheless, it brings up a big 4th and 9. And not sure if Keenan's going to punt it or go for it here. They might punt it.
I think they're probably going to punt it. That's I think what the textbook would say. But great blocking on that last play by right tackle Mike Swinton. Gave Washington so much time. He was able to survey the field, and luckily that pass wasn't completed. A great play on the deflection, almost picked off.
Dion Hollis indeed back deep to punt for Keenan. Almost blocked. It's a line drive kick. Going to let it bounce all the way down. It takes a Keenan bounce inside the 15-yard line and finally downed by the Raiders at the 12-yard line. So not necessarily great field position for Pendleton, but nonetheless a nice job getting off the field, as it looked like Dion Hollis might have taken a hit off of a deflected punt there, and he's coming up a little ginger.
Yeah, great job by Pendleton, really rushing that punt. Hollis looked a little rattled there, Sam.
1st and 10 from their own 12. First opportunity of week 1 for Jace Gross, who was masterful last week in week 0. Got doubles to each side with Spear in the backfield, moving from our left to right. Gross takes a snap, looking to the right. Wanted Spears, but it comes up a little bit short. Pressure in the backfield that time by Tymere Coleman, 2nd and 10.
Yeah, that type of orbit motion is a lot of what Keenan saw last week against Dreer, right? And kind of worked, right? And so Pendleton incorporates that motion sometimes. It's going to be something that they're going to use, right? Gross just not able to get on sync with his running back there on that, halfback little orbit screen the other way.
Trips to the right this time, and Gross takes the snap, looking to throw once again. He's got Webb down the left sideline, one-on-one coverage, and incomplete. Might have even gone through the hands of Abijah Webb, which is not something we see too often. That was down the left sideline, around the 40-yard line, so looking for a big gain there, but not to be for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, great throw there by Gross, right on the money to Webb, who was able to fight through some contact on the edge and just went through his hands off the contact. Not going to see that often, and unfortunately, that puts Pendleton in an early 3rd down and 10.
Doubles once again for the Bulldogs, 3rd and 10. Keenan looking to get off the field. Jace Gross takes the snap in the shotgun. He's looking over the middle, and he's got Nash Cahaley, over the middle of the field for the first down. Tackled over the middle at about the 28-yard line. Big play there from Gross.
Right, so that's one of those clear pass plays, right? No run option there. Gross just takes the snap out of shotgun, surveys the field. He looked left to Elijah Webb, and he came back to the slot as Nash Cahaley went right over the middle and stopped at the sticks.
Still scoreless here, 7:34 to play and counting in the first quarter. Quick screen to Cahaley once again, and he's tackled at or behind the line of scrimmage by Gary Gowans.
Yeah, Gary Gowans doing a great job of just coming up and blowing up that play. He wasn't listed on the starting lineup, but he made a big play there on DB. They love those bubble screens, Pendleton does, and Nash Cahaley was the recipient of one there after picking up that first down, kind of a little extra treat after, making that big play, and wasn't able to go anywhere as Gowans just blew it up and saw it from the get-go.
2nd and 11 for the Bulldogs. Got 3 receivers stacked up on the left and Abijah Webb on the right. Gross takes the snap. He's looking for that one-on-one matchup to Webb. He'll throw it up. It is caught by Abijah Webb past the 50-yard line, tumbling out of bounds. First down, Bulldogs.
So they went with a bunch of trips left there, right, and isolating Abijah Webb, the star playmaker, all the way on the right. And he's able to just make a great jumping play to come down with that ball. You cannot get him in one-on-one coverage if you're Keenan, because that's exactly what Pendleton wants to do.
Bulldogs into Keenan territory at the 48-yard line, 1st and 10. Gross looking to slow it down just a little bit. They get their play call from the offensive coordinators, Ike Allred and Jordan Williams. 3 receivers to the left, Ham Scott to the right. Gross takes a snap. This time it's a straight give to Bray Spears. Bray Spears breaking a tackle into the second level of the defense, fights his way forward for a first down right around the 36-yard line of Keenan. Another first down for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, so great job by the offensive line moving all the way to the right there. Spear able to just absolutely hit the hole as pressure came from the edges almost immediately. Spear able to hit the hole and still go to the right side on that play design and get that first down.
Mellow Mattress in the game in relief of Abijah Webb for right now. It's another handoff to Bray Spear, and he is tackled after a 4-yard gain by number 23, Jacoby Giles, bringing up a 2nd and 6.
So I love what I'm seeing from the Pendleton offensive line right now. They're letting the defenders go where they want them to go, right? Pressure's coming, but it's not going to get there, right? They're creating big spaces up the middle where they want to put the football.
2 deep safeties for Keenan. Pendleton trying to figure out what they want to do offensively on this play. Might have numbers to the left for a quick screen here on the RPO. But first, we're going to have a timeout, looks like. Official coming in from the right, and they are going to make number 75 for Keenan check out of the game for a play. That is Nigel Williams. And in for him is number 66, Mike Swinton.
Yeah, a little bit of a sub there. So Swinton, the right tackle, who just had a great blocking performance on that first drive, he's going to come in and play defensive tackle now.
Still the 2 deep safeties for Keenan. Pendleton might have numbers to the left, but they'll give it to Bray Spears. Spears got pulled by the face mask, and no flag coming from the referees, and now they throw the flag. As a clear pull of the face mask as Spears was trying to get into that second level.
Yeah, I got to understand if that's going to be on the face mask or something that happened after the play, because really the Raiders just came in, and it was kind of a swarm, right, just competing on the ball.
Surprised we didn't see some quick game by Pendleton with numbers to the left. Only 2 DBs right there at the line of scrimmage and had 3 receivers there. And it is going to be a face mask on the Keenan Raiders, and that's going to be a first down for Pendleton marching in. I believe this is going to get them into the red zone.
Right, so you mentioned you have that 3-on-2 advantage to the left side, to the wide side of the field. You have that RPO-style offense. Sometimes you're not going to make the correct read, right? So maybe Jay should have thrown that bubble there if they really have that option and just played with the numbers game all the way out with all the space out left. But he liked what he saw inside the box, and maybe the pressure really prompted it to hand it off to Spear.
1st and 10 inside the Keenan 15-yard line for the Bulldogs. They got doubles once again with Webb and Jennings on the right side, and it's Mattress and Cahaley on the left. Gross takes a snap, and it's batted down at the line. I think he was looking for a crossing route for Abijah Webb, but it is batted down by number 53, Victor O'Neill of the Raiders.
Right, and I think I saw a big 51, Jaden Wilson, off the deflection, try to catch it, right? Because you could do that once, the deflection becomes legal off the defensive team, right? So love to see the effort on both sides. Great pressure by Keenan to really disrupt that pass on maybe what was an open Abijah Webb.
2nd and 10 at the plus 15-yard line. Once again, same formation for the Bulldogs. Still got Brace Spears to the left of Gross there in the backfield. Be looking for Abijah Webb here on the near sideline. Gross takes a snap. It's a high snap. He's just going to have to fall on it. That's going to be a loss of 16 yards there. Really unfortunate break for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, that puts them on their own 32 now, right? So the center, Walker Dunlap, right, because of injuries, he's starting at center, right? Young sophomore center. They trust him a lot, but we saw some high snaps last week, right? And so there's another one there. That's something they're really going to have to work out, the Kings, in order to be an incredibly efficient and successful offense going forward to the immense talent and success that they had so far.
3rd and 25 from the 30. Gross takes a snap, looking over the middle, finds Cahaley. No, Cahaley drops it. Nice pass breakup by number 21 of Keenan. That is Xavier Collins.
And Jacoby Giles was there as well, right? So great play right there. I really thought that Cahaley was going to come down with that ball. He would have been short of 6. It probably would have put them back at the original line to gain. But now you're in a 4th and country mile right now. So it's, I believe, Sam, it's 4th and 26. That looks like a lot. And you really can't punt here because you're
at the 30-yard line.
Yeah.
Not much that the Bulldogs can do here. They will go for it. Doubles to each side. Gross takes a snap, looking deep for Abijah Webb. Double coverage, and it is batted away. Double coverage there by the Keenan Raiders. And so Keenan will take over right there at their own 30-yard line.
Right, so Ross tried to look off the safety, right? They had the D safety playing back. And just Thomas Lovett, number 6, and Gary Gowans, number 3, just were able to collapse in on Webb and focus on him once they realized that, okay, he's not going anywhere else with the ball. It's a 4th and a country mile. He's got to go to his big guy, Abijah Webb, who's just such an animal, on those deep balls with that great state high jump champion ability to go vertical and just not able to connect there. Really tough situation that they put themselves in, not able to score there.
And really a nice drive that started at their own 12-yard line. Did find Abijah Webb down the left sideline for a big gain earlier in the drive. Unfortunate ending to the drive is really that bad snap by Walker Dunlap kind of wrecked the drive. That's an unfortunate break for this Pendleton offense. But I like what I saw in terms of play calling from Mike Allred and Jordan Williams. Maybe would like to see the run game get established a little bit more, but thought it was pretty nice and balanced. And other than the tough ending, thought it was a great first drive.
I thought it was a pretty good drive, right? Maybe you could have flipped some of the situations where you ran and passed, right? I think that situational awareness by Gross is going to be key to winning this game against a very talented Keenan squad.
So Keenan from their own 30-yard line on the left hash, going from our right to left. 4:30 remaining in this one in the first quarter of this contest. 0-0 still on the board. Washington will take the snap, looking to the right. He'll fire. It is caught and wrestled down at the line of scrimmage immediately is number 20, Josiah Clark.
Right, so Josiah Clark, just quick pass, gets to that the line of scrimmage, and, man, was Jamari Chapman there right away. Jamari Chapman, he kind of thought about picking that ball up, but he's like, I'm not going to be able to get there. I don't want to give up a big play. Stayed flat, strafed, and was able to really bring down, number 20, Josiah Clark at the line of scrimmage. About a gain of a yard.
Give him about a yard there, as David mentioned. 3:50 remaining in the first quarter in this one. Empty set for Washington. He'll take the snap. looks to his left, setting up a screenplay. It is caught by number 1, Tyhee McNeil, and he is going to go the distance, showing off that game-breaking speed. And we are scoreless no longer as the Keenan Raiders get on the board on a long screenplay for well over 65 yards and a touchdown by number 1, Tyhee McNeil.
That's a great offensive play call by the Raiders. So I think they picked up that Pendleton was going to blitz. Pendleton sent 5 there. So Washington let them all come through. The offensive line went. They're running a tunnel screen to the right. And Washington drops back, just flips it over, just so much air under the ball, but still not slow, and just able to get that to Tyhee McNeil. He cuts up the right hash all the way. No one was catching him with that game-breaking speed.
And it looks like Keenan is going to go for 2 here, as we will probably get accustomed to throughout this game, looking to make it an 8-0 ball game. But if you're Pendleton there, kind of got gashed on that one, sold out on the blitz, and unfortunately you're going to have to pay for it as Keenan gets on the board first here.
Right, so Keenan does not employ an extra point. They love going for 2. They think it gives them an advantage. But Pendleton, if you get this stop, it helps you with momentum.
Interesting set here. It's a direct snap to Tyhee McNeil, looking to take it into the end zone himself. Waiting for the ruling, and he does just that. The 2-point conversion is good. And Keenan takes an 8-0 lead here with 3:36 to go in the first quarter.
Wow. Tyhee McNeil really doing it all that drive. Finishing it with a Wildcat set, with an extra man to his right, just able to power that in, kind of jumping back in the, back to the play side at the very end, and able to get in there. 8 points, all courtesy of number 1 for the Raiders.
And for the Bulldogs, while last week there were individual moments of adversity, I feel like it's safe to say this is the first time they've really faced true adversity, especially away from home here at this neutral site game. Last week got up to that commanding 20-0 lead. Different story this week is they're down 8-0 here early.
Right. They were able to just really cushion themselves that big lead. So when, they had some problems with field position and, Chesney had short field, they were, okay with that, right? They could live with that because, they were able to respond and they already had this big lead. Now, you're in the jackpot.
Kick is fielded by Sam Jennings coming up the right side. He's to the 30, not quite to the 30, and he is tackled by number 2 of Keenan. That is Corey Williams. And so the Bulldogs will set up shot from the right hash, 1st and 10, going from our left to right from their own 29-yard line.
Yeah, squib kickoff there from the Raiders. Jennings took it at about the 15-yard line or so. He was able to try to push it to the right, but he couldn't really get a block there right on the edge where he wanted, and a great job by Corey Williams coming down and making the tackle.
Second opportunity for the Bulldog offense, led by co-offensive coordinators Ike Allred and Jordan Williams.
Sam, I think this is a must-score drive.
Oh, absolutely. Need it for both Ross's confidence and for the momentum of the game. Looks like Abijah Webb might be back. No, he's not in the backfield. That's Spears. But they will give it to Abijah Webb on the screen pass on the right side. Makes the guy miss. Bursts into the second level. Gets the first down, and he's shoved out of bounds at the 47-yard line of Pendleton. First down Bulldogs.
Yeah, so Abijah Webb just taking advantage of that soft coverage, coming back, after 3 yards, and just able to take it all the way. He gets to the defender to move inside, and bam, Abijah cuts outside, able to take it to the sideline before being tackled out of bounds.
Really nice throw on time there from Gross. First down and 10, doubles to each side for the Bulldogs, but first we're going to have another official's timeout, and he's going to force a sub once again. This time, Thomas Lovett forced to leave the game for a play, and coming in his relief is number 12, Adonis Evans. 3:21 remaining in the first quarter. Your Bulldogs down 8-0 after a 69-yard strike to Tyhee McNeil for Keenan to open up with an 8-0 lead. Bulldogs on their own 47-yard line, 1st and 10. And we have another whistle from the officials.
Yeah, a couple officiating issues. The crew really just trying to get everything sorted out now.
I believe the past couple substitution issues might have been related to a different colored mouth guard. Not entirely sure there, but If you just want the speculation of the announcers, I think that's what we're going with right now. Anyway, back to the action. 2 receivers to each side for the Bulldogs. Gross takes a snap, looking for a Webb. Once again, it's complete. Spins out to the outside. Evades a tackler with a spin move, and he might go all the way inside the 10 for the Bulldogs. And an enormous gain by the Bulldogs once again on a screenplay.
Yeah, Sam got so excited he accidentally muted his mic for a second. Yeah, no, a little bit of deja vu there. Ross goes right back to Webb on that little, short comeback. You want to call it a curl, you want to call it a stick, whatever you want to call it. You want to call it a hitch, it's fine, because Abijah Webb is going to take it and, bam, spins back inside after going outside last time, really playing with the defender's line, and able to take it all the way down the field with his blazing speed, cutting through the defense before being tackled.
Abijah Webb making his mark on this game early, and the Bulldogs have it at Keenan's 9-yard line, looking to cut into this 8-0 deficit.
Yeah, Spear to the left in the backfield, still in double set. Got to wonder if they go to Spear here.
2 receivers to each side. Webb out of the game for right now. Jennings goes in motion. They'll give it to Spear, and he is met at the line of scrimmage by a couple of Keenan Raiders, including number 53, Victor O'Neill.
They had jet motion going to the left, and they gave it to Spear right up the middle. Unfortunately for the Bulldogs, number 55 was right there. And that's Warren Bailey. Warren Bailey, the senior, just able to attack and, rip down blocks with that bull rush move, make a big stop going head-to-head with Spear. It's second down.
2nd and goal from the 10. 3 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Spear joining Gross in the backfield. Gross takes the snap. He'll hand it off once again to Spear. Spear trying to fight off the tacklers, but there are too many white jerseys there at the line of scrimmage, and it's another run for no gain, bringing up 3rd and goal.
Spear was bouncing around in the backfield, lined up on the right, then the left, then in the pistol, and then back to the left in the gun. And I think not on the same page as Gross there. Gross maybe should have explored other reads on that RPO if he had them, because the box was really stacked against Spear there.
3 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Once again, Gross takes the snap, and we have a flag, probably a false start, somewhere on this left side by the Bulldogs in that 3-receiver stack. Officials will deliberate as we are inside 2 minutes to go here in the first quarter. Bulldogs looking to get on the scoreboard. And they're going to call an offsides on the offense. So one of those receivers lining up incorrectly on that play. And so another unfortunate event for the Bulldogs, whose last drive was derailed by a bad snap on 2nd down. This time a penalty backs them up in his 3rd and goal from the 15-yard line.
And that 3-man bunch all the way to the left threw the flag immediately, so you knew it was doomed from the get-go. He saw them line up offsides, tried to warn him. They didn't work it.
Double set. Cross looking to fire over the middle. It is caught by Nash Cahaley, but it is short of the goal line at around the 7-yard line. Nice find there by Gross, who had some pressure in his face by number 55, Warren Bailey. It's going to be another one of those situations where you're going to have to make a decision if you're going to go for it, and it looks like they will do just that.
Yeah, so that play puts them in a really good position now. He had Spear the hot read, but he thought to go to, Cahaley over the middle just to throw a little bit behind. He got it, but not all of it.
Big 4th and goal play from the 7, looking to the left side, and it's batted away yet again by number 53, Victor O'Neill. 2nd time he's done that, and another Pendleton drive ending without points. 2nd consecutive turnover on downs for the Bulldogs, and a tough way to end that drive with yet another big play by Abijah Webb, but not able to punch it in.
Right. The offense has to realize that Abijah can't do it all himself this early. A lot of big plays on the right side, but on the left side, you're not really getting much. You're not getting, used to the open side of the field. There on that play, the blitz just came hot, right? And Gross really had nowhere to go with the ball. He's lucky that it wasn't ruled a fumble, and it was just an incomplete pass batted all the way back, like 20 yards at the line of scrimmage. And now Keenan has an opportunity to really put Pendleton in a hole. This defense has to stay strong and make sure that they're sending a 4-man front every time without overcommitting.
Yeah, we talked about the last drive for the Bulldogs being a must-score drive. Even more so is this a must-stop situation for the Bulldogs defense, led by defensive coordinator Jeremy Johnson. It'll be 1st and 10 from the 7, their own 7-yard line for the Keenan Raiders. trips to the right, one receiver to the left for the quarterback, Washington. He hands it off to his running back. That is Hunter O'Neill. Gains a few yards there, just about 4 yards on the carry on that run to the left side.
Yeah, he was first hit in the backfield by Carson Gregory, but able to just bounce off him inside as Carson was the right end there. He was able to bounce off it, and it was ended up being tackled by Dylan Hart. Great play by Hart, but not good that he was pushed that far off the ball that he had to make the tackle from that nose tackle position.
Inside a minute remaining in this first quarter, Keenan up 8-0. Actually a gain of 6 on the previous play, bringing up a 2nd and 4. Doubles this time for Keenan as it's still Washington and O'Neill in the backfield. Washington takes the snap. He's looking down the field, but he is going to be dropped at the 5-yard line. A couple of Bulldogs teaming up there for the quarterback pressure. I believe the first guy there was number 5, Trent Garner. Who else but Trent Garner there?
Trent Garner, that leader of the defense, shows up when the defense needs it most, right? They send out Hunter O'Neill from the right to the left on that orbit double motion, and just the defense collapses in. You know, Washington has, I've really been impressed with this Raider offensive line, right? They did a great job, but, you know, Washington didn't have anybody. That was a coverage sack right there, and Trent just came in and bam.
That's the end of the first quarter. Keenan on top, 8-0 thus far here in this one. A couple nice drives by the Bulldogs, but unable to get on the scoreboard. And now we're going to take this time in between quarters to hear from a few of our sponsors.
Attention ghost hunters. Imagine it's dark and you're being led by candlelight through a 200-year-old haunted plantation home. Sound scary? Sound fun? Don't miss your chance to be a part of this once-a-year only event. Visit www.PendletonHistoricFoundation.org and purchase tickets to the wildly popular Pendleton Ghost Tours. Limited tickets will be sold, not for the faint of heart, and no one under 17 minutes. Call John at 864-646-7249 or visit www.PendletonHistoricFoundation.org today. Pendleton Historic Foundation, preserving and interpreting Pendleton's history. Go Bulldogs. Is your vehicle in need of a wash right now? Visit any Tiger Express wash location in Clemson, Easley, Pendleton, or Seneca, and you can be through the tunnel with a clean, dry car in about 3.5 minutes. Plus, with the Anywhere Unlimited Fast Pass, keep that shine with a wash as often as you like at any of the upstate locations. Customers enjoy an eco-friendly, fun jungle theme and free vacuum use. Tiger Express wash, more locations, same quality care. Gettin Chili Ice Cream Truck. Why not beat the heat with a cool, sweet treat? Book Gettin Chili, your hometown traditional ice cream truck, for your next event. You can find and like us on Facebook and call 864-844-4384 to book us for your next event.
Thank you, David, and thank you to all of our great sponsors. Getting ready to start off second quarter of action, and a big 3rd and 12 upcoming for the Keenan Raiders and the Bulldogs defense. Bulldogs really needing a stop here, as the offense has not quite been able to punch it in to the end zone so far. Trailing 8-0, I feel like this is the first critical point in the game, David.
Yeah, I think that if the Bulldogs get a stop here, they'll be able to get good field positioning because the punting team for the Raiders is not the most experienced, and they'll be able to really, get another great scoring chance.
3rd and 12. Washington takes the snap, looking for a screen yet again, but this time it's snuffed out by the Pendleton Bulldogs defense. Jamari Johnson there with a pass breakup. Kind of a similar play to that screen play that broke for that 69-yard touchdown. Only difference, it wasn't one of those where the offensive lineman went downfield to block.
Right. So they went to the left. Right, and they went to number 16, Nicholas Thomas, instead of Ty McNeil. This time, the defense all over it. Seen it once, they're not going to get fooled again by it. They came out, the DBs played great, batting down the line of scrimmage, really forcing the wide receivers with nowhere to go, come back to the ball, blowing up that play, and it's a 4th down, much needed for Pendleton, and a big return could be a key, especially when you got number 24 back there.
Yeah, a huge stop for the Bulldogs, bringing up a 4th and 12, and Keenan kind of feeling the pressure of having to punt from their own 5-yard line. Initially, the punter right there had his heels pretty close to the back line of the end zone, so Keenan's going to take a timeout to talk things over here.
Just to add more of our sponsors, Liberty Hall is a 10-room bed and breakfast with ensuite baths in historic Pendleton, available for those traveling to our area and local getaways. Liberty Hall venue is a great location for wedding receptions, corporate meetings, parties, and events. Call Liberty Hall today for your next event. Are you in the market for a new washer or dryer? How about a new refrigerator or a new range? Maybe you would rather have a new state-of-the-art TV and home theater system with surround sound. If so, be sure to go see the folks at Crenshaws TV and Appliance for the finest selection, device, and service after the sale. Open 24/7 at www.tvandappliance.com. Proud sponsor of the Pendleton Bulldogs.
Big stop there on third down for the Bulldogs. Brings up 4th and 12 for Keenan at their 5-yard line. So the opportunity for Abijah Webb, who's back deep standing on the Keenan 40-yard line, to set up a big return and hopefully set the Pendleton offense up for a successful drive punch into the end zone for the first time in this game. It's a low snap on the punt. Line drive kick once again by number 11, Dion Hollis. And Abijah Webb's going to be content to just let it roll, and it will do just that to the 45-yard line. But still, the Bulldogs are going to take over in Keenan territory, 1st and 10 from the Keenan 45-yard line.
Yeah, it gives Keenan a lot to work with, right? They can get their defense rested, but it gives Pendleton even more to work with, right? This is going to be their first, great positions drive. They have the ability to score. They only got to go 45 yards, right? And I think maybe on the last 2 drives they were a little burnt out by the time that they got on those 2 long drives with great big plays by Abijah Webb. They couldn't go to him again in the end zone. This time he's more rested and the entire team is ready to go.
1st and 10 from the Keenan 45 for Pendleton. Deshaun Jenkins in the backfield this time, and they'll give it straight to him. He makes a defender miss right at the line of scrimmage and fights forward for about a 7-yard gain. Nice run by Deshaun Jenkins into the game for the first time for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, Jenkins does a great job with that. Little whoop back juke to the left side and was brought down by a bunch of Raiders. Tymir Coleman, number 25 for the Raiders, his helmet came off, so he will have to leave for a play. But a great job by Jenkins getting 7 yards, and he'll stay in now.
2nd and 3 for the Bulldogs inside the 40-yard line at the 38. Ross takes the snap. There'll be a quick throw out to Cahaley. Cahaley bounces off one tackle, can't evade the second tackler. That is number 6, Thomas Lovett, making the tackle around the line of scrimmage. And just not quite what you're looking for on that quick game if you're the Bulldogs and if your offensive coordinators Ike Allred and Jordan Williams.
Adonis Evans, number 12, the corner on the right side in the slot, just blew up that play. Hit Haley straight on through his blocker, right? And then number 8, the next DB was able to just come and make that tackle.
Yeah, love it there on the tackle, number 6 for the Raiders. Another big 3rd and 4 for the Bulldogs. Feels like a must convert. Gross takes the snap. He'll hand it off yet again to Jenkins, but nowhere to go as it's snuffed out by number 75, Nigel Williams, the senior defensive lineman for Keenan. And the Bulldogs having to make yet another decision here on 4th and 6, and they will go for it.
Have to go for it. Again, you got too good a field position to start to punt. You got to go for it. It's 4th and very manageable. You've got playmakers. You can line up in that double set and just do whatever you can. Read the DBs.
Here we go. 4th and 6 for the Bulldogs. Empty set for Gross. Fires over the middle, but it is out of reach for the outstretched hands of Nash Cahaley. 3 drives, 3 turnover on downs for the Bulldogs. That one probably stings the worst because you started off at the 45-yard line in Keenan territory.
Right, and now Keenan has great field position, right? They only have to go less than 60 yards the other way, and they've been able to move with their offense at times. So you've seen a lot of explosiveness there from McNeil and from O'Neal, right? So that's really tough. You really wish you had that one back if you're head coach Grayson Howell. I really am noticing that Ross on those 4th downs and 3rd downs, he needs to go to Nash Cahaley over the middle, right? He's gone there so many times, and he's not able to convert. Maybe to look at some other options going forward.
It's going to be 1st and 10 from their own 41-yard line for Keenan. First, we got a pre-snap flag. It looks like some movement on the right side of that offensive line. It is going to be a false start. It's going to set the Raiders back 5 yards. Keenan up 8-0 here as there is 9:52 remaining in the first half here. Neutral site game between the Bulldogs and the Keenan Raiders here at Newberry College. Setzler Field. 1st and 15 for the Raiders. 3 receivers this time to the left into the game. Here's Josiah Clark, the freshman. Looked for him a bit earlier. Washington looking to the sideline for the play. Each player on the offense has a wristband that they've been looking at the numbers for. The snap and the give to O'Neal. O'Neal off the left side. He's got some speed. He's got some breakaway speed, and finally wrestled down after he gets into Pendleton territory by number 6, Jamari Chapman.
And Hunter O'Neal just takes the buck sweep all the way to the left, and he's able to just zoom up those sidelines inside the 40, and he was shrugging off the Pendleton defender for a little bit, carrying him almost, and he was just using his speed as that strength, right? So speed converts to power, and that's why Keenan is now on the other side of the field, very quickly, right? So usually penalties can be that drive killer. Now he just completely has offset that.
Looks like the Bulldogs are going to get bailed out. Might have had a holding on the left side.
Just when I said that run, you see another penalty, right? So you thought that O'Neal, canceled out the penalty, but the penalty just canceled out O'Neal. So now you're dealing with 2 penalties back-to-back to start the drive. That cannot happen, especially when you're trying to really put Pendleton in a hole.
So we'll do it again here. 1st and 17, backed up a couple yards here for the Raiders, who are looking to build on their 8-0 lead, scoring a touchdown on their second drive of the game. 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left for the quarterback, Washington. O'Neal joining him in the backfield.
Got to think this is a run to O'Neal.
Washington takes the snap. He will give it to McNeil. Buck sweep once again to the left side. McNeil sheds a tackler, gets past the line of scrimmage about 2 yards, and then wrestled down by a myriad of Bulldogs right there.
Yeah, they went to Hunter O'Neal pretty much every single time on 1st down, and they just go with him again to the left. This time not able to use that left sideline to an advantage. The defense is able to get there, swarm there, right, the dog pound able to bark, and quells the gain after just 2 yards.
Brings up a 2nd down and 14 for the Raiders. Still in their own territory, 8:43 to play, enjoying an 8-0 lead. 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left for Keenan. Washington takes the snap, surveying his options, has all kinds of time, directing traffic. He'll go deep downfield, and it is caught by number 10. That is Nykeem McNeil. 1st down into Pendleton territory.
Wow. Desmond Washington has all the time in the world, right? He's able to just survey, play make, move his guys around. You can see in motion. He's like, hey, he's using his other hand. Hey, you go there, right? Because he's got all the time. You got to be able to bring more pressure with 4 if you're the Pendleton Bulldogs.
Yeah, that 3-man front really not getting it done for the Bulldogs here so far. Defensive coordinator Jeremy Johnson likely going to have to dial up some pressure and not let Desmond Washington just play point guard. 2 receivers each side. O'Neal motioning to the left. Looking deep once again. Washington fires deep in the left side of the end zone. It is incomplete. He was looking once again for Nykeem McNeil in the end zone. Double coverage there with some safety help. Jamari Johnson and Zymir Collmore, the strong safety, on the coverage there.
Yeah, this time Washington didn't take all day. He knew he wanted that deep ball right away, right? He steps back out of that 3-5-step drop, not sure which one it was, but he just corks it. Right off rip. He gets there, but it's in the double coverage. Great job by Jamari Johnson and Zy Collmore just squeezing there, right? Not giving him any space to work with, no room to breathe, deflecting that. Incomplete. 2nd down and 10 off that big deep shot. Incomplete.
2nd and 10, 8:07 remaining in the second quarter. Washington takes the snap. He'll hand it off to O'Neal yet again on the left side. He's got some room, tripped up around the 20, stays on his feet, and gets all the way inside the 10 before being brought down right near the left sideline. But into the red zone and inside the 10 are the Keenan Raiders, looking to add to this 8-0 lead.
O'Neal just looked like a ghost there, right? He hid behind his left tackle, Victor O'Neal, and was just able to use that little hesitation by the defense to break left, and nobody was there to run with him, right? Especially now with his speed. He's able to take it all the way down inside the 10, shedding a couple tackles along the way.
Mass substitution here for Keenan as the linemen are looking to count just how many they have in the game. Looks like that Wildcat formation yet again. Tyhee McNeil likely to get the direct snap here. 1st and goal from the 8. It will be McNeil on direct snap, looking for the right side, and he is absolutely met on the right side near the line of scrimmage by senior number 21, Cody Williams.
Yeah, Cody Williams, so key to this defense. Played great last week. Great. He had a pick towards the end of the game, right? So he was able to make a big difference there. And now he's able to make a huge play on a must-need stop. They went to that wildcat formation. Notice, Sam, they didn't have any skill position players. They go all big there. So it's McNeil or nothing.
Absolutely, and a great job by the Bulldogs, who have kind of been pushed around up front so far in this one. But that was not the case that time on first down. It's going to be 2nd and goal now from the 8, back in the normal package. Bad snap. It is picked up by Washington. He's just going to be forced to throw it away. But it's going to be intentional grounding, as that pass did not make it back to the line of scrimmage.
Wow. That was incredible, right? Because I really thought that Washington was able to get away with that, right? Because he is not able to handle that snap, and he's just like looking left, looking right, spins around, throws it out of bounds, not able to get back to the line of scrimmage, right? Because I thought he was maybe behind the hashes, right? So that would have been legal if he was able to get it back to the line of scrimmage. Intentional grounding moves them way back, and they don't really have that field. They don't really want to go to that field goal situation. So it's going to be, 3 downs just to get straight in the end zone for about 27 yards. It looks like, Sam.
Yeah, 3rd and goal from the 27-yard line, and a big break for the Bulldogs defense. We had a similar vantage point to the referee. Obviously, we're much further back. But I did notice him watching closely to see if that ball reached the line of scrimmage, and a really nice job diagnosing that penalty by the White Hat there. 3rd down and goal from the 27. Doubles for Keenan, 2 receivers to each side.
Washington is going deep.
Washington takes the snap. He is looking deep. Fires into coverage, and it's picked off. Running down the right sideline. Got blockers ahead. It's number 25, Zy Collymore. Big-time interception for Collymore.
Yeah, that's the first mistake I've seen Washington make. And I think he's been super impressive. But I think maybe he's so used to having so much time, right? He's just looking for playmaking and everybody moving off left. A little miscommunication there off the adjustment. He throws it straight to Zy Collymore like he was the intended receiver, right about the 10-yard line all the way to our far side. And Zy just able to use the right sideline coming back as just his boundary, and he had so many blockers out in front. Great job of him. That's the turnover that Pendleton really needed.
Yeah, big-time momentum swing there. And like you mentioned, Desmond Washington throwing it even into triple coverage there as he was looking for one of his receivers over the middle. Looked like Nykeem McNeil, to me, was the intended receiver. And like you said, Zy Collymore really able to catch that interception almost like a punt, and then running behind his blockers down that right sideline. And let's just hope that this is the catalyst for what is going to be a big momentum swing in the Bulldogs' favor. Still not on the board. Down 8-0 with 6:35 remaining in the second quarter. This is a big-time drive, and you've got to build on the momentum that Zy Collymore just gave you.
Right.
So it's going to be 1st and 10 from their own 40-yard line for the Bulldogs on the right hash, looking to get into the end zone for the first time tonight after scoring 47 points last week against the Chesney Eagles at home to get the season started with a 47-21 victory. Trips to the left, 1 receiver to the right. That is number 1, Nash Cahaley on the right side. Cross has Spears in the backfield with him. He'll keep it and throw it to Abijah Webb over the middle, complete on that RPO. Fooled me there. And into Keenan territory are the Bulldogs on the nice grab by Webb.
So you have that trips formation to the left. Usually Abijah Webb is going to be the 1 receiver on the right side or the opposite side of the trips formation. This time he switches places with Cahaley, and he takes Cahaley's route. Cahaley takes his. You're not going to go to Cahaley because Cahaley doesn't have the jumping and that big, deep ball one-on-one contested catch ability that Abijah Webb does. But what Abijah Webb does have is that misdirection ability to take that slant over the middle and break a tackle.
1st and 10 from the Keenan 44 for the Bulldogs. Cross takes the snap. Does keep it to the left side, and he's going to look to do it himself. Slides down after a gain of about 6 yards, and the first time that we've really seen Groff take off in what looked like a designed quarterback run.
And if what we talked to Coach Howell about, he wants Jace to pull that ball when he needs to pull that ball. Right? So Jace able to just take advantage of the entire defense, committing to Spear. He's able to get out and get 6 yards, a great gain on first down, to the 39-yard line, and able to slide, avoid that extra contact, being brought down by number 23, Jacoby Giles.
Walker Dunlap shaken up a little bit on the play there, so Lucas Koenig is going to come into the game for the Bulldogs on the offensive line. Nice run there by Gross, setting up a 2nd and 5 inside the 40-yard line at the 39 of Keenan. Doubles this time. Gross takes the snap, looking left. Fires quickly to Elijah Webb, caught at the 40. Inside the 30 now to the 27. He's wrestled down by number 25, Tymere Coleman. Another first down for the Bulldogs. And the security blanket, that is Abijah Webb, continuing to do great things.
What works tonight is Abijah Webb. But what's worked specifically with him is that pitch and catch, right? Those, a couple steps, turn around, Gross gets it to him, and is able to just make a play, with that speed, getting around blockers. And Abijah Webb just picks up another huge first down for the Bulldogs.
5:28 remaining in the half. Bulldogs looking to get on the board, trailing 8-0. Gross takes the snap. Looking for Webb again, but he loses the football. It's on the ground, and I believe the Raiders have it as it just slipped out of the hands of Jace Gross there.
Oh, no, because Gross had Webb, I believe, for probably a touchdown. Webb was lined up in that one with the 3 to the right. He was lined up on that weak side, and he was going one-on-one. Gross was going to him. Gross was going on that one-on-one deep ball because you can't usually play Webb in single coverage. And when you do, Gross is going to get him that football. But the ball just falls out of Gross's right hand, and the Raiders just able to fall on it after the defensive line, just able to get that initial push and fall on the ball. Wow.
Another really tough break for the Bulldogs. It honestly, I don't really know how to describe it other than the fact that he was going to throw it and it just slipped out of his hands backwards. So the Raiders will take over at their own 39-yard line. Just an incredibly deflating play there for the Bulldogs. It'll be 1st and 10 for Keenan.
And the Bulldogs have been able to move the ball. They just haven't finished drives.
This time, kind of got a unique formation here for the Raiders. Tyheem McNeil in the backfield, but you do have some skill position players this time. And do we have another pre-snap penalty?
No, we have a delay of game. The clock expired, so that'll be 5 yards back for the Keenan Raiders.
So now what you're looking for, if you are the Raiders, and if you are head coach Jared Neely, as they try to build on this 8-0 lead after a really unfortunate turnover by the Bulldogs and Jace Gross on the previous play, they'll stick in that same formation with Tyheem McNeil set to take the snap in the backfield. 5 wide receivers joining him.
Yeah, not that big Wildcat, now a spread-out Wildcat.
McNeil takes the snap, and he looks to jet it off to that left side, but he's a shoestring tackle behind the line of scrimmage by number 6, Jamari Chapman, really diagnosing that play. Oh, was it Trent Garner?
I believe it was Trent Garner, number 5, really just coming in there, slamming the ground, right, just slapping that ground, slapping that earth right after he gets that play. Trent just able to come in and trip him up and bring him down to the ground.
My apologies to Trent there. He did a really nice job diagnosing that, and his jersey kind of bunched up there where I thought the 5 was a 6.
Yeah, of course. No.
That's on me there, but brings up a 2nd down and 15 for the Raiders. In motion now is O'Neal. Washington looking to fire deep, and it's caught by number 1 for a first down. That is Tyheem McNeil across the middle into Pendleton territory, tackled at the 48-yard line.
Wow, a big first down pickup there by the Raiders. Washington has looked so poised in the pocket because he's going to McNeil, right? McNeil finds a way to get open, this time over the middle on that crosser, and just able to use that momentum, slide up and down to the first down.
4:20 remaining here in the first half. The Bulldogs still scoreless, trailing 8-0 to the Raiders, who are looking to add on to that lead. Doubles package here for Keenan. Washington takes a snap, fires immediately to the left side to number 10. That is Nike McNeil, the intended receiver, but it flies over his head into that left sideline, incomplete.
McNeil just not able to climb the ladder enough. A little bit too outright, hits his hands, goes out of bounds off the deflection. No risk there, really, because that ball was too high for anybody to pick off, but definitely something that you want back because it looked like you maybe had the numbers advantage on the left side.
And that does stop the clock, so if you're Pendleton here, you'd like to get off the field and give your offense another opportunity to get some points on the board. But first, the primary matter at hand is stopping this Keenan offense, who's had a lot of explosive plays over the middle, namely by the brothers Tyheem and Nike McNeil. Here's the snap. Yet again, it's a give to Tyheem McNeil. He fights his way forward for about 3 or 4 yards. A nice tackle on the left side by a Pendleton linebacker. brings up a third down.
Right, so we've seen a lot of Hunter O'Neill taking carries in the backfield. Now you see Tyheim McNeil.
Not confusing at all.
No, not at all, right? So Tyheim McNeil, he takes it, right, and he's able to, kind of like juke out the first defender and gets like kind of barrel roll tackled, like alligator tackled, after a gain of 4.
Big time third down coming up here. Washington takes the snap, got some pressure in the backfield, spins out to his left and finds a receiver past the sticks. That is once again Tyheim McNeil for the first down, going out of bounds at the 34-yard line of Pendleton. And the pressure there for the Bulldogs was by number 11, that is Calhoun Mize, but just not quite able to bring Desmond Washington down.
Right, that Mike blitz. Calhoun Mize, the middle linebacker, coming up the middle. Gain a lot of pressure, but Washington just spins away from him, forcing Mize to fall down, leaving Trent Garner, number 5, who's in coverage there, usually pretty good at it, against Tyheim McNeil, in that kind of flat as, everything kind of broke down and Washington was rolling to his left. McNeil, of course, outspeeds Garner there every single day. 1st and 10 for the Raiders, a handoff yet again to O'Neill. He doesn't even get back to the line of scrimmage. It's a nice job by the left side of that Pendleton defensive line. Another tackle for loss there. Yeah, number 1, Tyheim McNeil, just able to take that up the middle. But he hasn't really been as successful running the ball as Hunter O'Neill is. And Hunter O'Neill now checking back into the game at running back, allowing Tyheim to come all the way down at the X on the right side of the field.
3 minutes remaining in the first half. 2nd down and 12 for the Raiders, who have enjoyed a nice drive, a couple explosive plays on this one. 2 receivers to each side for the quarterback. Washington joined in the backfield by Hunter McNeil. Washington takes the snap, looking to his left, fires for his receiver, number 11, incomplete. Intended receiver was Dion Hollis there. Might have heard the footsteps from Zy Collymore coming there, the safety on the help there.
Right, they ran that slot wheel action where Hollis was able to get in that open field, and it was going to be a one-on-one, who can catch that ball between Collymore and Hollis there. Hollis definitely heard the footsteps coming, but Collymore has already made a big play, and it's 3rd down and 12. A must-stop right here with the momentum with the Pendleton Bulldogs.
Trent Garner and Dax Allen trying to get the crowd into it, and on the Bulldog side for this big 3rd down and 12 with 2:40 remaining. In motion is McNeil. Washington takes the snap, firing deep over the middle yet again, has a receiver, but overthrows him just a bit into the end zone. Tyheim McNeil, the intended receiver, had a couple yards of separation, and not going to lie, that one had me a little bit scared there.
Yeah, so he ran that post route to perfection. He had nothing but end zone in front of him, and Washington just not able to connect. I mean, maybe McNeil ran that a little too skinny to where the ball's probably going to go, but Washington seems to just have, overcourted it to the right there. It's 4th and 12, and Hollis is going to come out to punt now.
Big time stop for the Bulldogs. 2:34 remaining in the half. Coach Howell still with the 3 timeouts in his pocket, and so another opportunity hopefully for Gross and the offense to get in the end zone. Punt's nearly blocked. It's a high kick. It's going to bounce at the 25 and take a Pendleton bounce, and it'll be down right there at the 25-yard line. So 2:27 remaining. The Bulldogs will have it at their own 25-yard line on the left hash with more than enough time and 3 timeouts to get into the end zone for the first time here tonight.
The Bulldogs are going to be able to move this ball beyond the 50-yard line. I'm pretty sure about that, given what they've been able to do in the long term. But are they going to be able to score when it comes to crunch time, as they haven't been able to put the ball in the red zone and execute with it yet?
Not quite the high-scoring game that we saw last week, where offense really seemed to gel pretty easily. 2 receivers to each side for Gross. He fires quickly, looking for, I believe, Cahaley, but it bounces in front of Nash at the 30-yard line. Incomplete, bringing up 2nd and 10.
Yeah, the Raiders forcing Gross's eyes to Nash pretty much every play when they're sending everybody out on the design pass. And I think that's what they want to live with, right? They're isolating them, and they've been doing a great job living with it because Gross is not able to find him on the money.
Doubles once again for the Bulldogs. Gross takes the snap, hands it off to Jenkins. Jenkins into the second level, runs over a safety, and a first down for the Bulldogs on a draw play that really looks like the Raiders weren't expecting at all.
Right, and that's what you get at with a good draw play, right? It's a clear passing situation. You're approaching the 2-minute marker. Jenkins just able to take it as the pressure comes heavy off the edges, able to take it tightly in between the guards and get a big play out of it.
Pendleton going quickly. Gross takes the snap once again, firing down the field for Ham Scott, and he comes down with it inside the 40-yard line. Jump ball that Ham Scott is able to come up with in between two Keenan Raiders, Thomas Lovett and Adonis Evans on the coverage there. Big-time first down conversion.
His first catch of the day, and Ham's doing what Ham does best, catch the deep ball. Great job by Ham just finding that soft spot and getting all the way up to come down with it.
Inside 2 minutes, 1st and 10, and Jace Gross able to draw the Raiders offsides with that great hard count that we saw work to perfection 3 times last week. Gross able to get the Raiders to jump for the first time in this game here, and it'll bring up a 1st and 5 and get them closer to the red zone. Ball's going to be spotted at the 31-yard line now inside 2 minutes.
And I believe that's the second time it's happened today, Sam. So I think 3 is that number that you're really looking for, because an extra 15 yards is something that you can really work with, right? So that could be one of those margins that Pendleton needs as their victory to success.
Going to have a timeout. Not sure if it was called by one of the teams or one of those official water break timeouts, but nonetheless, a stop in the action. So while we have a second, and hear from a couple of our sponsors. Looking for a place to connect and build community? Join us at Foothills Church in Pendleton. We meet every Sunday at 10 a.m. at Pendleton High School. Whether you're new to exploring faith or looking for a new church home, you're welcome here. Come experience uplifting worship, a message with real-life application, and a community that cares. That's Foothills Church, Sundays at 10 a.m., Pendleton High School. We can't wait to see you there. So inside 2 minutes here for the Bulldogs, trailing 8-0 against the Keenan Raiders here at a neutral site, Newberry College. 1:54 remaining in the first half. The offense looking to get into the end zone for the first time tonight. 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left is Scott. Ross takes the snap. He'll hand it off to Spears. Spears, stiff-arming a defender, gets inside the 30, but not much more. Just a gain of 2 on that 1st and 5. So it's going to bring up a 2nd and 3 from the 29. Clock still ticking, 1:38 and counting.
Right, and no Abijah Webbin on that play. Seems like he needs a breather right now. So it's going to be Ham Scott as your big play receiver all the way on the left.
On the left hash are the Bulldogs. Doubles formation yet again, and it is Spear joining Gross in the backfield. Gross takes the snap, looking to his left, fires quickly for Jennings. Is caught at the 25. Jennings spinning off a tackler, but is tackled at the 21 by number 10, Nike McNeil, playing a little bit of defense here on this possession.
Yes, Sam Jennings able to pick up that first down, but the clock still ticking away. Gross and the offense have to be quick back to the line.
Does move the chains. Clock still moving, though. 1 minute exactly remaining in the first half, and now it's Deshaun Jenkins joining Gross in the backfield. 2 receivers to each side. They will hand it off to Jenkins. Jenkins bounces off the initial tackler, but then he is met by 3 Keenan Raiders for a tackle for loss.
Jenkins just running into his own guard there, and that sets the Bulldogs back, and the clock's still ticking away. Not opting to use his timeout is Coach Howell.
And Coach Howell will now use his timeout with 35 seconds remaining in the half. Kind of a disaster of a play there, losing 6 yards, and only 35 seconds remaining. Going to be at the 27-yard line.
Now to give you more of our sponsors, Cox Law Firm in Pendleton is proud to sponsor the Bulldogs. For help with real estate, wills, probate, for your small business, go see Cox Law Firm in Pendleton. They're as tough as quick on your legal needs as the Bulldogs on a Friday night. Go to westcoxlaw.com after tonight's victory party to make your appointment. United Community Bank, with more than 70 years of proven performance and the best bankers in the industry, United Community is one of the strongest and most secure banks in the Southeast. They're proud to have just won their 10th J.D. Power Award for Best Customer Satisfaction in the Southeast, and they were recognized by J.D. Power as the #1 most trusted bank. They're headquartered in Greenville, South Carolina, which makes them the largest bank headquartered in the Palmetto State. Visit the local Pendleton, South Carolina branch for all your banking needs.
35 seconds remaining in this first half. 8-0 Keenan on top of the Bulldogs at the 27-yard line of Keenan, looking to get it into the end zone. Cross takes the snap, looking to his right. He fires for Cahaley, and it's caught inside the 10-yard line, bounces off a tackler, he's still on his feet, inside the 5, and a great play over the middle. A very comfortable target for the quarterback. Gross finds Cahaley over the middle. First down, Bulldogs, first and goal inside the 5.
Right, so over the middle. It's been Gross to Cahaley, unsuccessful. This time, Cahaley hangs on. You knew they were going to get it at some point, right? Cahaley bounces off that first tackle, and what I thought could have been, a loss of an extra 5 yards, Cahaley turned into an additional gain.
A great play, and another timeout taken, this time by the Raiders.
Now for a final sponsor of the first half, it's Guy's Pizza in Sandy Springs, the official pizza of Pendleton High School football. Come see us on Highway 76 right across the street from the Michelin plant in Sandy Springs. We're the home of the famous award-winning Bulldog pizza, along with many other specialty pizzas. We also have wings, calzones, strombolis, hot subs, dessert pizza, and much more. To place an order, call 864-375-1410. That's 864-375-1410. Or stop by and dine in with us. Proudly serving the area for over 10 years.
First and goal from the 4 for the Bulldogs. Looking to get on the board for the first time in this one. Had a few pretty good drives that have just stalled out before the red zone. The first time really knocking on the doorstep of scoring for Gross and the rest of this offense.
Jenkins injects lifeblood into the Bulldogs.
Jenkins joining him in the backfield. Gross is going to keep it himself, and he fumbles. Going to go all the way back to the 25-yard line. Ball still on the deck. And did a Bulldog finally come down with that? If he did, it was Jenkins. And he did do just that. But another disastrous play and a loss of 20 yards. Can you believe it?
Wow. Gross just not able to do anything with that one. Pressure comes quickly. Gross fumbles the ball. Just starts rolling back. The only guy back there to get it was maybe Jenkins. Luckily, he falls on it because it really looked like he wasn't going to be able to haul that one in.
A loss of over 20 yards. It's going to be a loss of 23, bringing up a second and goal from the 28-yard line. It looked like a designed run for Gross off to the left side, but once he was met by the initial pressure, it looked like he just lost the ball immediately.
Yeah. Gross just having trouble hanging on to the ball because we saw that ball on the last drive that led to the turnover just slipping out of his right hand. So now it's 17 seconds on the clock. You just burned your last time out if you're Coach Howell. You got to go either sideline, end zone, or end zone, right? You cannot waste any time on this play.
Pretty interesting, to me at least, is that Abijah Webb is not on the field here. You're probably your most prolific deep threat, so maybe look for Cahaley or Scott down the sideline here on this one with 17 seconds remaining in the first half. Second and goal from the 28-yard line. Gross takes a snap, evades some pressure. He scrambles to his left, floats it out of bounds down the left sideline. 11 seconds left now, bringing up third and goal from the 28, but there is a flag down. Thrown down in the area that could be holding on the offensive line of Pendleton, and that would be a real backbreaker here.
Yeah, my guess is that's what it is, and the official confirms our suspicion because you hear the coaches clamoring for the holding call on the Keenan side. Wow, just a disaster when it comes to finish this drive for the Bulldogs. Now you're going to be backed up almost what? Where are they going to spot the ball to? It's going to be 30-plus yards and goal?
It's going to be second down and goal from the 38-yard line with 11 seconds left in this first half. And just a couple plays ago, you had first and goal from the 4. So just a horrific turn of events where the Bulldogs were still yet to get on the scoreboard.
Now you got to go deep ball. I think I might see them getting a little back, right, if you're going to run that speed out with a streak blocking it. But you got to get in the end zone.
Soft coverage by the Raiders. Just 11 seconds left in the half. Gross takes the snap, fires, but comes up short, looking for Ham Scott on the comeback route, if that's what it was.
The pressure getting to Gross once again, and he's not looking to his right? He has the running back that time, Jenkins, on that hot read to the right side with nobody covering him on his hand side to the flat. He can gain a lot of extra yards there because he went short on the comeback to Scott and what maybe could have gone out of bounds, but surely Jenkins would have gotten out of bounds on a flat route. Now, 7 seconds remaining.
Probably got to go for the end zone here. Third and goal from the 38-yard line, what might be the final play of the first half. Gross takes the snap, looking to fire it to the right. It's batted down by number 10 of the Raiders, Nike McNeil. 3 seconds still on the clock, so likely one more chance to just air it out into the end zone and hope for a touchdown. But how about this Keenan defense, giving up 37 points last week, and this week holding the Bulldogs scoreless so far in the first half. A Bulldogs offense has scored 47 points last week and only punted one time.
Yeah, you got to love what you're seeing from head coach Jarrett Neely and what he's done to reinvigorate this defense, as an interim head coach. Now, that trips formation, Gross went short of the end zone. Now you line up in the same formation. You've got to go all the way.
Frost takes the snap, fakes the handoff to Jenkins, and now we'll give it to Jenkins on the screen. Got blockers set up in front of him, but he will be shoved out of bounds just inside the 25-yard line, and that is the conclusion of the first half. Keenan leads 8-0 here at Newberry College. The Bulldogs will receive the opening kickoff of the second half, but for right now, a really frustrated team, I'm sure, heading into the locker room in Coach Grayson Howell's squad.
Right, you haven't been really able to do anything on offense. On the bright side, your defense has been phenomenal for the most part. Bending but not breaking consistently, forcing turnovers when you need to keep you in a one-score game, right? You got to wonder, where's Abijah Webb right now? Because he wasn't on the field that last drive. Is he hurt? Is something happening? Right? We don't want to speculate, but Abijah Webb is such a big piece to this Pendleton offense, and Gross has honestly looked, a little bit like a freshman here, right? You've seen some very talented plays from him, but, not able to get in the end zone thus far. You got to wonder what they're going to change in the second half. You've seen a little bit more mixing up of the running back between Spear and Jenkins. You see Haley and Scott getting involved, with Jennings getting his first touch on that pass drive. They're getting in the red zone. They're moving the ball over the field, but when they get to the short field areas, they're not able to take advantage of that short space.
8-0 Keenan is your halftime score over the Bulldogs here at Newberry College. We're going to take an ad break, and on the other side, we'll break down that first half and let you know what we're looking for from the Bulldogs to come back and win this one here over the Keenan Raiders, trailing 8-0 at halftime. You're listening to Pendleton Bulldog Football on 105.1 Spirit Radio, brought to you by Longhorn Steakhouse.
You are listening to Spirit Radio, WABB, Anderson's Praise and Worship Gospel Station, serving Anderson County and surrounding communities. This is Steve A. Matthews, inviting you to keep your dial set at 105.1 FM. Spirit given, Spirit driven, Spirit Radio, 105.1 FM.
This is Greg Whitfield with Giant Sword Ministries. We want to welcome you to our show, Battle Cry, that airs each Sunday at 3:30 to 4 on Spirit Radio, WABB 105.1. Hope you guys tune in and get some encouragement. We love you. God bless.
The 2024 Anderson University Trojan football team will kick off its inaugural season on WABB 105.1 FM. Tune in beginning on September 7th as the Trojans will host their first game, taking on the St. Andrews Knights inside Melvin and Donnie Yount Stadium. 5 action-packed home games are in store for the Black and Gold in the South Atlantic Conference, featuring home games against new conference foes Catawba, Emory and Henry, and Mars Hill. We hope you join us as we cheer on head coach Bobby Lamb and the Trojans in the 2024 inaugural season.
Hi, this is Pastor Darrell Hall of the New Hopewell Baptist Church. Join us every Tuesday from 3 to 4 p.m. and receive a message of truth and encouragement and hope. And if you're in the area on Sunday, we welcome you to join our worship service starting at 11 a.m. We are located at 209 Dorchester Road, Belton, South Carolina. And always remember, there is new hope at the well.
If you need a beginner's permit, driver's license, driving lesson, or a 4-point reduction class, you need to call Davis Driving Academy. We are a licensed, bonded, and insured driving school located in Anderson. Call 864-965-8734 to schedule your driving lesson for your teenager, or if you know of an adult that needs points back on their license or need a road test. At Davis Driving Academy, our professional instructors are all certified by the state and will enhance the experience for the novice driver. So don't delay. Call today, 864-965-8734.
The everyday pressures of life can at times become overwhelming, especially when you're dealing with the unexpected death of a loved one. For 4 generations, the members of Holloway's Funeral Home of Pendleton have earned the reputation for helping you make the right decisions at a time when decisions are not always easy to make. We take special care in preserving the dignity and the final memory of your loved one. Holloway's Funeral Home is now serving you in 2 locations. 101 Holloway Boulevard in Belton, telephone 864-338-5200. And now, Foggy Holloway's of Anderson, under the direction of Horace C. Holloway and Bessie Jean Holloway, attendant, located at 1222 South Main Street, Anderson. Telephone 864-225-7329. Remember, you have a choice, so choose well. Holloway's of Belton, and now Foggy Holloway's of Anderson.
Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Gabrielle Canick, owner of Grand Oaks Dental and Sleepwell Anderson here in Anderson, South Carolina, and I'm a dentist, which means I work to prevent and treat oral diseases. But as dentists, we're also concerned about your general health as well. Did you know that the mouth is the gateway to the body, and one aspect of being healthy is having proper sleep? If you have obstructive sleep apnea, dentists such as myself who are trained in making oral appliances can work with physicians and other medical professionals to manage your condition. Why do our patients come to see us? We're compassionate, we're friendly, we have a family-oriented atmosphere, and we're taking new patients. So if you don't have insurance or do have insurance, either one is great. Call us to discuss your options. Our number is 864-224-0809. We look forward to serving you soon.
For the best deal in town, you've got to visit Granger Nissan of Anderson. No matter what you're looking for, Granger's got it, and you can get it. Visit them at 3510 Clemson Boulevard in Anderson. And right now, use promo code Granger1 and you'll get an additional $500 off the price of your new vehicle. Check out a brand new Versa or a Rogue or even a Sentra. And if you're looking for a new SUV, how about a brand new Pathfinder? No matter what you want, Granger's got it, and you can get it. Call them at 864-328-1188 or shop online from the convenience of your living room at GrangerNissan.com. And if you're thinking about pre-owned, Granger's got over 150 vehicles on the lot right now. We want to buy your new car or truck today, so stop by Granger Nissan and get a cash offer for your vehicle. That's only at Granger Nissan, 3510 Clemson Boulevard in Anderson. And don't forget, use promo code Granger1 and get an additional $500 off the price of a new car or truck. Granger Nissan of Anderson, 3510 Clemson Boulevard. Call 864-328-1188, the home of the lifetime warranty.
You're invited to join us for the broadcast of Mountain Spring Baptist Church every Thursday at 3 p.m. God is doing great things at Mountain Spring. Spirit given, spirit driven. This is Spirit Radio.
Hey Spirit family, this is just Jeannie here to let you know we have just a few Spirit Fest advance tickets left for $50. If you plan on coming to the Spirit Fest Experience event and have not purchased your tickets, you may purchase here at Spirit Radio today or until they are all gone. Now listen, please don't wait till the day of the concert because the purchase price will be $60 and you may have to wait in a long line. So why not stop by Spirit Radio here in Anderson or call us at the station 864-844-9089. That's 864-844-9089 to let us know you would like to purchase Spirit Fest concert tickets, which will be held on this coming Sunday, September the 1st at the Bronson Courts Wellness Arena, located at 650 North Academy Street in Greenville. And again, Spirit Fest advance tickets on sale
Welcome back to Newberry College and Setzler Field. Pendleton Bulldogs, frustrating first half offensively. Defensively, pretty good showing on that side of the ball, keeping the Raiders out of the end zone too many times. But the Bulldogs are down 8-0 here after several frustrating plays offensively, namely on that last play. And by the way, you're listening to the halftime show sponsored by Rogers Petroleum Incorporated. Late in that first half, a 1st and goal from the 4 for Pendleton turned into disaster, turning into a 2nd and 24, then to a 3rd and 38. Not a great way to end the half offensively, but kind of was the tale of the first half. Frustrating plays on offense. Early on, we saw a heavy dosage of Abijah Webb getting the Bulldogs down into the red zone, but time and time again, the Bulldogs just not able to get it into the end zone, Dave.
Right. They're going away from, just a one-man show, and they're really trying to spread out. And I think they've been doing great at, spreading the rock, sharing the wealth. But, man, they haven't been able to execute in the short field situation. I think the space kind of running out for them to stretch vertically, especially when it looks like Keenan's doubling on the outside, right? Whoever the X is and whoever the Z is kind of getting doubled over the top, right? Leaving the slot, to be, who Groff sees as open, and they're living and dying with that there. And it's not always working out for them, even though sometimes Cayley's making a big play or Jennings is making a big play, right? You haven't really been able to get that big over the top ever since you were going to Abijah Webb early.
Yeah, and last week we bragged on Jace Gross for not looking like a freshman at all, and let's just call a spade a spade. Tonight he's pretty much looked like a freshman, which isn't necessarily some overly negative thing. It's just reality, and it's to be expected of a guy who, as we mentioned in the pregame show, had never before this season played a game of football past 7 o'clock p.m. So obviously a big moment for him to bounce back from that rough first half. Didn't turn the ball over through the air, but did have a couple fumbles there. And for Gross, you kind of just got to get back to what you were doing last week, finding success time and time again. You got to think if you're Ike Allred and Jordan Williams, co-offensive coordinators, I think I might want to get more of the running game going, some outside zone, some buck sweep, some things of that nature to get Jenkins and Spear out on the outside, because we really haven't seen them establish that ground game yet.
Right. Gross has looked reliant on other playmakers. I don't think he's looked bad, but he's looked like a quarterback who needs his receivers and his running backs and his weapons to really do most of the heavy lifting. And that's not a bad thing, right? That can be the strength of your offense, but last week we saw Jace Gross do so much, and I really love seeing him, use his legs earlier to pick up a big gain on first down, right? If you can continue to do that and establish that run game with Spear, Jenkins, and Gross, I think you open up an entire new dimension of offense, just powering it and chipping away in what you've been successful at. Like we saw that last drive there, going out to halftime, a big-time draw play to Jenkins on 2nd down. In a must-pass scenario, they go run to Jenkins, who just cuts behind his guard, almost disappears, and takes a 20-yard rushing gain. Right, Jenkins, Spear. I think you can work with that.
Oh, you absolutely can. And one thing you just can't allow Keenan to do, which they've pretty much been content to do, is drop 8 guys into coverage. Just not much respect for your offensive line and for your run game so far. So the Bulldogs, I think, going to have to come out and make a statement here on this opening drive, get that ground game going, get the quick screen action going with some effective blocking downfield, and finally finish a drive. We've seen 3 drives get into opponent territory for the Bulldogs, knocking on the door of the red zone, knocking on the door of the goal line, just not yet quite able to get it into that end zone. And a lot of that is credit to this Keenan defense, who has been extremely opportunistic, wreaking havoc at the line of scrimmage, forcing incompletions and a turnover or two here and there. But if you're the Bulldogs, this isn't a foreign thing to you. Last week, able to be so successful on offense, just punting one time, had the 1 interception from Gross, but 7 touchdown drives and 0 so far in this one. So definitely got to get back to those winning ways offensively. We've raved about the defense. They've done a pretty good job containing the explosivity of this Keenan offense. Desmond Washington, a couple times, though, has had just all day to throw. Like to see the Bulldogs get a little bit more pressure on him. Jeremy Johnson, maybe to dial up some blitzes in the second half to force Washington to be uncomfortable. And then you got to contain Hunter O'Neill, who at the running back position has been extremely explosive, likes to get out to the outside and show off that speed. And then even the receivers by Keenan, Nykeem and Tyheem McNeil, have had a big game. Obviously, the one touchdown of the game being that 69-yard touchdown scored by Tyheem McNeil on the little late developing screenplay. So all in all, a great first half by the defense. Just need to play complementary football.
Right. The Keenan defense, specifically in the trenches, has been the big story, right? An unsung hero, I'd say, right? Because we're talking about 69-yard Tyheem McNeil rocket screen on the touchdown, right? But the defense has been able to make Jace Groff sweat, constantly pressuring him, and the DB is making plays when they have to, in that safe coverage, right? What the Pendleton defense needs to do, and I think they're kind of figuring this out as the game went on. I really like what I saw by them on the last drive for Keenan. Getting pressure there, right, forcing Washington to make an ill-advised throw, really just moving his receivers around on broken plays, and just getting pressure there more with 4 than they were getting with just a flat 3 or, a late 4.
And really the best news if you're the Bulldogs here as we get closer to second half action. You get the ball first. You're just down a score. As disastrous as that first half seemed with all those negative plays and penalties at really the worst times, you're just down 8-0, and you're not necessarily facing this huge deficit that you have to try to inch your way back from. But what you do need to do is not let it grow. Either you need to score on this first drive of the second half, or you need to be able to get another big stop defensively and not allow this lead to just balloon. Because that's when I think this is the type of game that I think with the explosivity of the Keenan offense, you risk it maybe even getting out of hand a little bit.
I think you do risk it getting out of hand a little bit if you're not able to put a score on the board in the third quarter, right? Because you can't expect to hold Keenan scoreless for the rest of the game, even though your defense has been good, because Keenan's been able to move the football. And in the same way that Pendleton's been able to move the football, Keenan struggled to put it in the red zone, but Pendleton hasn't put it in the red zone at all, right? We've seen Keenan do it at least with that wildcat formation, Tyheem McNeil on the 2-point conversion. We know they can use that in short yardage situations, and we know that they have the big play ability to stretch it. So I think what Pendleton has to do is really rely on that run game and get Jace Gross comfortable.
Bulldogs coming back onto the field from the locker room. A long talk, you'd like to think, in the locker room by head coach Grayson Howell. It seems as if the Keenan Raiders are back on the field maybe 5, 6, 7 minutes before these Bulldogs as we get closer to the start of the second half. Dave, if you give me 2 to 3 things here in the second half, what are the keys to a Bulldog comeback victory here?
Ross, number 1, has to hold on to the football. Number 2, the defense needs to keep generating pressure with 4. And number 3, you've got to stretch the field with Abijah Webb, based on the running game from Spear, Jenkins, and Jace Gross.
Absolutely. We are about a minute and 48 seconds away from the second half. I'd like to thank all of our sponsors. Yet again, you're listening to Pendleton Bulldog Football, brought to you by Longhorn Steakhouse of Clemson and Seneca. I'd like to thank all of our sponsors as well. Rains on Exchange, Rogers Petroleum Incorporated, Guy's Pizza of Sandy Springs, Black Tie of Anderson, Pendleton Historic Foundation, Gettin Chili Ice Cream Truck, West Cox Attorney at Law, Liberty Hall Bed and Breakfast, United Community Bank, Foothills Church, Crenshaws TV and Appliances, Tiger Express Wash, McDougald's Funeral Home, Mac.bid of Anderson, Lindley Park Post-Acute Care, and, of course, once again, our title sponsor, Longhorn Steakhouse. We could not bring you Pendleton football without these great sponsors, and this has been the halftime show sponsored by Rogers Petroleum Incorporated. I want to give a big shout-out to Jeannie and to Nick back at the station, helping to bring you Pendleton football on 105.1 WABB Spirit Radio. Nice crowd in attendance here at the neutral site. A lot of black and gold down here in front of us, Dave. Even a lot of Keenan fans made the drive over from the Columbia area in the middle part of the state. And we are just about set for what's going to be a big-time second half. Attention, ghost hunters. Imagine it's dark and you're being led by candlelight through a 200-year-old haunted plantation home. Sound scary? Sound fun? Don't miss your chance to be part of this once-a-year-only event. Visit www.pendletonhistoricfoundation.org and purchase tickets to the wildly popular Pendleton Ghost Tours. Limited tickets will be sold, not for the faint of heart. No one under 17 admitted. Call John at 864-646-7249 or visit www.pendletonhistoricfoundation.org today. Pendleton Historic Foundation, preserving and interpreting Pendleton's history. Go Bulldogs. We are just about ready for second half action here at Newberry College, Setzler Field in Newberry, South Carolina. Neutral site game where your Bulldogs are the designated home team, but they do trail 8-0 to the Keenan Raiders. Back deep to return are Ham Scott and Sam Jennings. Still no sign of Abijah Webb. We hope he is okay. He's down here on the sideline looking to be fine, walking under his own power, putting his helmet on. Hope to see a lot of number 24 here in the second half.
Right, and you're going to need to if the Pendleton Bulldogs want to explode on offense to win this game.
Kick is away. It'll be fielded by Jennings at the 15. Breaking off to the right after initially going up the middle, breaks a couple tackles and gets on past the 30-yard line. Ball will be spotted at the 34. It'll be 1st and 10 there for the Bulldogs, now moving from our left to right. And you talk about the opportunity to make a statement here for the Bulldogs coming out of the locker room. This is just that.
Right. You have great field position, great return by Sam Jennings, like you said, Sam, cutting it up straight the middle and then booming right, able to use that edge as kind of a barrier, able to get a couple extra yards that way. And we do see Abijah Webb back in, and he's the sole receiver on the right side with the trips to Gross's left.
Gross takes the snap. He's looking for Abijah Webb in that one-on-one. Safety coming over to help, and it doesn't matter because Abijah Webb goes up and gets it. The jump ball is complete into Keenan territory, rather. Yet again, a drive starting with number 24 making a big play, Dave.
And that's just what the doctor ordered. Abijah Webb is just an injection of talent, offense, and hope for Pendleton whenever you need something in a big-time scenario.
Into Keenan territory at the 42-yard line. It'll be a straight handoff to Deshaun Jenkins, and he is pulled down by number 75 of Keenan, Nigel Williams. Nowhere to go that time for Jenkins, met in the backfield.
Yeah, great job there by the defensive line, generating pressure on the Pendleton offensive line that has looked young tonight. You looked very impressive the other night. It looked a little young tonight, but Nigel Williams grabbing onto Jenkins' jersey and tossing him down with just the strength of his upper body.
Doubles this time for the Bulldogs. Ross takes the snap, looking to the right side, fires, and nearly complete, but dropped at the end by number 8. That is Sam Jennings, kind of on a route out to the flat. Had it for a moment, and then it was ripped out of his hands by the DB there of Keenan, bringing up big-time 3rd and 11.
Yeah, great job by number 6, Thomas Lovett, to come in there and just use his fingertips to rip that ball away from Sam Jennings, who really thought he had it. You could see in frustration, he's hammering the ground after not getting that one, 3rd and long.
As a sophomore wishing he came down with that one, nonetheless, bringing up a 3rd and 11. Doubles each side yet again. Deshaun Jenkins joining the quarterback Gross in the backfield. Gross takes the snap, looking over to his right, has Abijah Webb, and it's completed across the 35, a little short of the sticks, but a nice throw and catch. Once again to Webb, his second catch of the drive, his 5th of the game. It's going to set up a 4th and short for the Bulldogs.
And that's what they need, is just an injection of Abijah Webb into this offense. Now, I think there's going to be a lot of pressure on Webb.
Looks like the Raiders are going to take some time to talk about it. They take a timeout here. We've just gotten underway in the second half of action. The Bulldogs trailing 8-0 here early with 10:46 remaining in the third quarter, but a pretty promising start to the drive, David. And one thing that's been a common occurrence of these Bulldog drives that have pushed down the field have been early looks and catches by Abijah Webb. And it's no different on this drive, as picking on that one-on-one coverage. Did have a little bit of safety help, but 24 is too good to just line up one guy in press coverage against him.
Yeah, Abijah running that dig to perfection, able to haul that in, bring that body to the ground with the ball, and put you in a very fourth and short, very convertible situation, but it puts Pendleton's offense in another situation where it's do or die for the drive. And they haven't been great in those situations so far this game.
4th and 2 for the Bulldogs on the right hash. Trips to the left. Abijah Webb, the sole receiver to the right. Jamari Johnson joining Gross in the backfield. It'll be a wheel route to Johnson, and he'll take it all the way. And there is black and gold in the end zone, David. Touchdown, Bulldogs.
Wow, a defensive player showing the offensive players how it's done. Jamari Johnson just hits the flat immediately, and Chase finally sees his hot route. But he sees that hot route, the running back just going to flat. It's Johnson. Seemed that was designed there because Johnson not usually in at that running back position. So they knew, hey, if Chase can get it to Jamari there, Jamari's gone. Jamari's got that elite level speed to stretch the field. And, man, he puts the Bulldogs on the board in a much-needed drive to open up the second half.
A 34-yard touchdown for the Bulldogs and a 34-yard touchdown reception by Jamari Johnson. I believe that was his first snap on offense all game, and it couldn't have come at a better time for the Bulldogs to get on the board, but unfortunately missed the extra point and trail 8-6 still.
Wow. Really unfortunate for the Bulldogs. They haven't been able to get this extra point situation figured out. They go to Matthew Chapman, who made it all of them last week. He misses his first there off the left post. Just so unfortunate. It's 8-6 now. Not able to cut it to 1. That's huge, right? Because 2 points is not a football number. That's not going to be able to get you going. 8-7, you can go for 2 afterwards, right? And you can make it 7-7. You can make it a football number. Now you're down 2 points, right? So it's always going to be a weird point combination for the rest of the game. So a field goal can win it by 1, but you got to get there.
And it's big time to even get on the board and score a touchdown there. But it might be even more imperative you keep the Raiders out of the end zone here on their first drive offensively. Obviously, we talk about it from a Pendleton perspective because those are our guys and things of that nature. But Keenan's got to be walking away from that first half a little frustrated offensively as well. Had all those explosive plays and only 8 points to show for it. The Bulldogs are going to have to buck up and get a big stop here and not let the lead balloon any further for the Raiders, who, with a touchdown and 2-point conversion, could make this a 10-point game. Kickoff is away off the foot of Matthew Chapman, and it will go out of bounds. So not a great start, and that was Matthew Chapman, excuse me. Thought we had a number switch there, but it will be a free kick out of bounds and a flag. So Keenan will get a little bit better field position than if it were a normal touchback.
Yeah, you see Chapman definitely carrying over that missed extra point doink on the left post to the kickoff, not able to get it even close to the end zone and not able to keep it in play as it tails off to the left. Can't let emotions, pile on, especially as a kicker with so much pressure on you to be perfect.
So first down and 10 for the Keenan Raiders on the right hash from their own 35-yard line. It's been a pretty balanced attack with Washington and O'Neal out of the backfield. O'Neal with a lot of explosive runs, and then the receivers, Tyheem and Nykeem McNeil, a lot of explosive plays as receivers. 3 to the left, 1 to the right, receivers for Keenan. They will hand it off to O'Neal off the right side, breaks the tackle in the backfield, full speed ahead, gets his way close to the sticks, but a 9-yard gain as he's tackled just short of that first down marker.
I love the way that Hunter O'Neal runs outside the tackles. When he's getting horizontal, right, after taking the ball from either the left or the right from Washington, he uses that momentum and then cuts upfield with a second burst of speed, right? He gives himself that extra energy and then extra speed burst to take it down. Does a great job there of just ripping off arm tackles.
2nd and 1 from their own 44 for Keenan. The Raiders moving from our right to left. Washington takes the snap. Looking to throw downfield, but he is sacked, and the ball is out. Trent Garner wreaking havoc in the backfield, and he's fired up about it. Keenan is able to get back on the football, but a big loss and a big-time game-breaking play by number 5, Trent Garner.
Trent Garner, the motor, the V6 engine of this defense, just coming in and wrecking the game. Trent on a 2nd and 1 now makes it a 3rd and 6, just absolutely demolishing Washington on as clean of a hit as you can see in football. Chest to chest, Garner brings him down to the ground, forces the ball out. Unfortunately, Pendleton not able to recover, but Garner turns this drive completely on its head.
A really nice blindside hit by Trent Garner there, bringing up a 3rd down and 6 from the 39-yard line for Keenan. Big 3rd down for both sides. Washington takes the snap, looking to fire downfield, directing traffic. He throws it short in the flat, incomplete for number 3, intended receiver there, Gary Gowan.
Yeah, Desmond Washington was looking deep. He had Gowans in the flat, and he eventually fires it to him, but he fires him in at 100 miles an hour. Just goes off Gowans' head. Coach Howell and his staff wanted a fumble call there, so they thought it was behind the line of scrimmage, but, they called the incomplete pass there. Still huge as Abijah Webb back to return now on this 4th and 6 that the Raiders clearly have to punt.
Deion Hollis standing on his own 25-yard line, getting set to punt the football away. And Abijah Webb for Pendleton, standing on Pendleton's 30-yard line, ready to return. Last-minute substitution for the Raiders. That is number 53, Victor O'Neill. And I believe the play clock expired yet again. Is it going to be a delay of game, or did the Raiders call a timeout?
He doesn't believe so because they already called that first one. I think they would probably be hesitant to use their second already in the second half. And they'll take those extra 5 yards, and Coach Neely is not happy about it.
Kind of an unforced error there, as it seemed like the punt team was pretty much ready to go with about 15 seconds left on that play clock, and that last-minute substitution, or maybe even the 11th guy on the field, forces that delay of game. Deion Hollis said to get it away. He does. It's a wobbler, line drive kick yet again. Webb forced to make it bounce, or let it bounce, and it does. The Keenan bounce inside the 30-yard line, downed at the 29 of Pendleton by number 16, Nicholas Thomas.
Momentum Bulldogs. The Bulldogs now forcing that 3-and-out on the Raiders' first drive of the second half. After scoring, they've got everything coming up roses as of right now. Now, can they keep it that way? Can they water the garden? Can they grow the plants to fruitful perfection? They need to score here and take this lead if they want a real shot, because I don't know how long you're going to keep Keenan down.
Seems to me like it would be a nice time to get Ham Scott back involved in the action. He's been good on the few targets we've seen to him so far this season. Doubles for Pendleton on the right hash. Ross takes the snap, looks to fire, and right on cue, Ham Scott almost breaks the second tackle, does break the first tackle, and gets the first down for the Bulldogs down that right sideline. How about that?
Sam Stradamus right there. Ham Scott comes right back on those little pitching catches that we've seen to Abijah Webb earlier. This time it's Ham Scott on the strong side of the double set, and he just comes right back and makes a man miss. Gets really hung up by the ankle tackle there after picking up the first down.
Coach Howell, when you're listening back to this, I'd love to join your offensive staff there. But Gross takes the snap. He'll scramble to his right. Out a little bit of pressure looking for Ham Scott, but overthrown a little bit and incomplete. And Gross fortunate he didn't see the Keenan Raider that was chasing him on his tails and could have maybe forced another turnover.
Yeah, when Gross took the snap, the pressure came heavy. He had to step up in front of his offensive line as they were pushed back, and he was playing horizontally to the line as he rolled out to his right. The backside pressure was there. He probably heard the footsteps, but you can never know how close. He fires to Ham Scott, who's streaking down the sideline shortly, and he's not able to connect.
2nd and 10 from their own 41. Gross takes the snap, fires quickly to Jennings. Jennings makes the reception, but tackled down right at the line of scrimmage on the screen play. And unfortunately, that'll bring up a 3rd down and long as the Bulldogs still trailing by 2, 8-6, with 8:30 remaining in this third quarter.
Yeah, great job by number 21 for the Raiders, Xavier Collins, just blowing up that screenplay, going for the legs of Sam Jennings.
Kind of been a common theme. A lot of screen passes to Jennings so far, but he really hasn't been able to break any of them just yet. Doubles yet again for Pendleton. Gross takes the snap. Gross looking to fire downfield for Abijah Webb, and he just overcooked it a little bit on that throw. Falls incomplete in front of Abijah Webb down that left side. An unfortunate 3-and-out for the Bulldogs, who didn't have a rushing attempt there, unfortunately.
Yeah, they went 3 straight in the air instead of going to Jenkins, Spear, or Gross, keeping it himself. You understand that, right? It worked out to start. You're going to Scott, you're going to Webb, but I think maybe on that second down you can afford to play it a little slower and move it into more of a third and manageable.
Sam Jennings on the punt for the Bulldogs. Pretty good punt down the right side. Takes a Pendleton bounce. inside the 30 all the way down to the 24-yard line. The Keenan coaches not liking the fact that their return man was not evacuating the area there.
Yeah, poison is usually the cue used in high school football and at the next level for get out of the way, right? You don't want to risk, muffing that bunt. You're touching it a little bit, having it bounce off you just unexpectedly, and now it's a live ball. Pendleton can recover. There, the returner just letting it go, instead of, running away.
35-yard punt there for number 8, Sam Jennings. A good one to flip the field, and Keenan will take over on the left hash from their own 24-yard line, moving from our right to left here with 7:54 remaining in the third quarter. The Raiders leading 8-6 over our Bulldogs here at Newberry College. Receiver put in motion. Washington takes the snap, gives it directly to Tyheem McNeil, and he is taken down maybe right behind the line of scrimmage. Great job swarming to the football there are the Bulldogs.
Tyheem McNeil on that jet action. Gets it once again, trying to use his blazing speed to make a big play. And not able to go anywhere with that. Moves back a yard because the left side of the defensive line, just pushing them back. And something that you really love to see by Fisher Sailors, a great job setting the edge and using that weak side arm to really guide the tackle into McNeil for no gain and a loss.
Joining Washington in the backfield is number 3, Gary Gowan. Washington takes the snap, surveying the field. He's got some pressure in the backfield. He's taken down yet again by Trent Garner with a little bit of help from Fisher Sailors over there on that end. Bragging on him in consecutive plays. A nice job. And what did we call for at halftime? We called for more pressure on the quarterback from defensive coordinator Jeremy Johnson, and we get it there on consecutive plays.
Yeah, they woke up Trent Garner. And he is here to play, and he is here to stay. Just a great job by Trent. He outruns, his opposing tackle when he's setting the edge. He has to cut back in, right, and then he's got a one-on-one with Desmond Washington. Luckily, Sailor's able to force him to Trent, and they're just able to, split that sack and, just drag him down together, forcing a 3rd and long now.
3rd and 14 from the 25 wide receivers. Desmond Washington looking to throw it deep. He has his receiver, but it bounces off his chest. Tyheem McNeil across the middle, 3 black jerseys in the area in coverage, and it just bounced off the chest of the receiver, Tyheem McNeil there.
Yeah, great throw by Desmond Washington, right on the money, right in the numbers, where McNeil had that opportunity to go get it. Unfortunately, he was surrounded by 3 Bulldogs, the closest one being Jamari Chapman, and not able to hold that down due to the contact. Now, a big punt return now could be for the Bulldogs to finally take their first lead of the game after completely switching the vibes now in the second half.
And unfortunately, the first few punts have landed well short of Abijah Webb, so he's just been forced to let it bounce, and they've taken a lot of Keenan fortuitous bounces, so not really any punt return games so far. You'd like to see Abijah maybe creep up a little closer and set himself up for a return.
Sam, look at this formation now. They're coming out in a very wide punt formation.
Looks like they might even be short a man, and they are going to be forced to spend another timeout as they were short a man, as looks like number 51, Jabril Archie, late to join the punt team there. And Keenan forced to use their second timeout of this second half. Just 1 remaining.
Yeah, Keenan now is going to put themselves in a time crunch if they end up trailing in the fourth quarter. But, man, the special teams, getting away, the field position game has kind of been a nightmare for Keenan, in all honesty. That's 3, miscues now that have cost in 2 timeouts and a false start on the punt. I believe it's 4, right? 2 and 2. And, man, that's just a lot. That's 10 yards of field position and 2 timeouts that you just wasted. And now Abijah Webb back is definitely going to get this into Keaton territory if he decides to field the punt.
Yeah, and some of those things that just happen when you're under the direction of an interim coach, as the Raiders are under Jared Neely, his second game as the interim coach of this program. A lot of bells and whistles and things to iron out for the Raiders, and like you mentioned, a lot of unfortunate penalties and guys late to get on the field into the formation. And they're lucky that it hasn't cost them more than it has. They're still enjoying the 2-point lead that they have, but at some point their luck might run out, and the Bulldogs are pretty due to take advantage, it feels like.
I'd say so. I think that the Bulldogs have really, placed an emphasis on winning the line of scrimmage early now, and it's really given them, I guess, like maybe a little fire. I guess definitely what Coach Al said at halftime. It's definitely got them going. And now the special teams unit is going to capitalize on that and use more of their experience, right, under Coach Al in that, consistency at the Pendleton program to take advantage of field position.
Back deep to punt for the Raiders is Hollis, and to return is Abijah Webb standing right on the 50-yard line. Good snap. The punt is away. Yet another wobbler line drive kick, and it takes a nice Keenan bounce before going out of bounds right at the 50-yard line. So somewhere in that area is where the Bulldogs will take over with the opportunity to take the lead for the first time in this ballgame, David.
Yeah, the Bulldogs have a great golden opportunity now. Can they get in field goal range, right? Are they comfortable going to Matthew Chapman, who's already missed an extra point and, set a free kick out of bounds? Are they comfortable to do that if they get inside the 20, right? They went for it on fourth down earlier on 4th and goal, but that's a bit of a different situation, right? So are they comfortable taking the lead on 3, and do they think they're going to come away with points?
Bulldogs starting this drive at the Raiders' 49-yard line to win plus territory. Doubles for Jace Gross. Joining him in the backfield is Jenkins. A lot of pressure after the snap and just forced to throw it away. Whitehat takes a tumble as well at the end of that play. A lot of pressure there right at the snap by the Raiders. And even with the running back Jenkins in pass protection, Jace Gross forced to throw it away and bring up a 2nd and 10.
So a little bit of inside the huddle here. Jace Gross in this offense calls his own protection. We talked with Coach Howell about this earlier this week, and sometimes, there's a little bit of a different signal, or there's something that's very, very similar, right? So that could have been the issue with all that blitz coming and Jace having really nowhere to go to there.
So give the White Hat official just a little bit of time to catch his breath. Going to have some formation changes by the Bulldogs pre-play, and we are just about ready to go. Doubles yet again, and Deshaun Jenkins joining Jace Gross in the backfield. 2nd down and 10 from the Keenan 49 for the Bulldogs. Gross takes the snap. Looking to the right side immediately. It's caught by Abijah Webb. Cutting back out a couple blockers. Runs through a tackle, and then it's finally wrestled down inside the 45 at the 43 on the second level of Keenan's defenders.
Yeah, Abijah able to do a great job, on the tunnel screen, coming from right to left. He's able to get forward. Like, he's able to take that ball and get forward, without leading to an ineligible man downfield. Good job by Walker Dunlap, really, the center, getting to the second level and giving Webb a little hand.
3rd down and 4 from the 43-yard line of Keenan for the Bulldogs. 5:28 remaining here in the third quarter. The Bulldogs trailing 8-6 here at Newberry College. Gross takes the snap, drops back, has a little bit of pressure. He's going to keep it himself and then falls down a little short of the first down marker. It's going to bring up a 4th and 2, but a good job to even get positive yards out of that play by the young freshman quarterback, Gross.
Yeah, great job by Jace Gross, stepping up in the pocket, ducking under the pressure, and getting whatever you can. Now it's a 4th and about 1.5 now. The offense definitely has to stay out and go for it.
Big time 4th and 2 for the Bulldogs, who are slowing it down just a little bit, getting the play from their offensive coordinators based on the look that they're getting from the defense. One high safety for the Raiders, that is Nike McNeil. Doubles for the Bulldogs. Gross takes the snap, throws the tunnel screen immediately to Abijah Webb, gets the first down, shuts the tackler, shuts another, tripping, tiptoeing down the sideline, and finally knocked out of bounds inside the 10 by the last Raider that had a chance to bring him down, Anthony King. A.J. King there on the tackle. Who are you going to call? Abijah Webb.
Great job by Abijah Webb. He answers the call and delivers, pretty much every time when he touches the football. Just a great job by Jace, not being fazed by the pressure in that short yard situation about 4th and 2. Able to hit Abijah. Abijah just does what Abijah does best, right? He gets in that open space, spin move, right, outright, breaks tackle, stiff arm, gets a big play.
First down from the 15-yard line. Quick throw over the middle to Cahaley, caught at the 10-yard line. They had spotted the previous play at the 15. That's where they determined Abijah Webb stepped out of bounds. But a nice play on 1st and 10 there at the 15-yard line by Gross to find Cahaley over the middle. It sets up a 2nd and 5 from the 10.
What we talked about, Sam, we talked about getting Gross comfortable, right? And that stick concept after the big play just gives him an easy target in, a guy like Cahaley who's had a big connection with.
Gross takes the snap. Jamari Johnson yet again on the same flat route, this time to the left. Touchdown, Bulldogs. Yet again, some black and gold in the end zone.
Yeah, Jamari Johnson in there again. Same route, same play, this time to the short side of the field on our far side. And you got to think that the Raiders defense has to wise up now. If they see Jamari Johnson, number 2, in the game at running back, they got to get out there and get him because they know he's probably getting the ball because he's got that speed that's wide open. And the Pendleton Bulldogs take the first lead of the game thanks to Jamari Johnson scoring both of the touchdowns. If he wins this, if Pendleton wins this, he very well could be the player of the game.
Oh, he absolutely could be. And with 3:57 remaining in this third quarter, the Bulldogs taking their first lead. They are going to take a timeout to kind of decide what they're going to do on this 2-point conversion attempt. But a great job by Jamari Johnson just finding some green grass. Nobody even in the same zip code is able to walk into the end zone and give the Bulldogs their first lead. They lead 12-8 here at Newberry College over the Keenan Raiders. With 3:57 to go in the third quarter.
Right, and if I'm Ike Alred and Jordan Williams, I'm thinking, why not keep Jamari Johnson in the game? Keep him in the game right here, right? Here's the thing, send him on that flat route. If they go to him, but have receivers on the same side as him go the opposite direction, right? So you're going to force them to make a decision, and Jace Gross is going to be able to make a throw to whoever's taking advantage of the open space and hopefully get it done.
Absolutely. The name of the game, like David mentioned at halftime, getting freshman quarterback Jace Gross comfortable. Looked a lot more comfortable on that drive. A couple of tunnel screens to Abijah Webb, setting up the score by Jamari Johnson on the flat route for the second time tonight.
And I think that opens up his confidence on the deep ball in the rest of the second half.
It is Deshaun Jenkins joining Gross in the backfield this time for the 2-point conversion attempt. 2 receivers each side, but a different formation than we're used to seeing. Gross is going to roll out to his right. Has Cahaley in the back right corner of the end zone, but it's batted away by number 3, Gary Gowans of Keenan. The 2-point conversion is unsuccessful. The Bulldogs, though, do take the 12-8 lead.
Right, and you see Gross on that designed rollout, right? He had Cahaley, right? Cahaley had that space. He got behind Gowans, but Gross not able to get enough air under it for Gowans to not be able to touch it. Gowans with a great job getting up and deflecting with his right hand. It's still 12-8. Tiger Express Wash. Is your vehicle in need of a wash right now? Visit any Tiger Express Wash location in Clemson, easily Pendleton or Seneca. You can be through the tunnel with a clean, dry car in about 3.5 minutes. Plus, with the Anywhere Unlimited Fast Pass, keep that shine with a wash as often as you'd like at any of the upstate locations. Customers enjoy an eco-friendly, fun juggle theme and free vacuum use. Tiger Express Wash. More locations, same quality care. Why not beat the heat with a cool, sweet treat? Book Gettin Chili, your hometown traditional ice cream truck, for your next event. You can find and like us on Facebook and call 864-844-4384 to book us for your next event. Liberty Hall is a 10-room bed and breakfast with ensuite bath in historic Pendleton, available for those traveling to our area and local getaways. It's a great location for wedding receptions, corporate meetings, parties, and events. Call Liberty Hall today for your next event.
Bulldogs with a 12-8 lead here with just under 4 minutes to go in the third quarter of action. Trailed 8-0 at halftime, but 12 unanswered points, 2 touchdowns by Jamari Johnson. The pick is away by Matthew Chapman. That goes out of bounds yet again, unfortunately, right at the 1-yard line. So almost got to the end zone, but not quite. It is the second consecutive kick out of bounds by Matthew Chapman, who's also missed an extra point today.
We're talking about special teams mistakes. We can't just talk about the Raiders. We've got to talk about the Bulldogs as well. Right, those mistakes by Chapman have put them in a very weird situation scoring-wise, and it's giving Keenan extra field position to be able to move the ball under the cannon of Desmond Washington and the explosiveness of Hunter O'Neill and Tyheem McNeil.
So Keenan, yet again, will have it at the 35-yard line to start out their drive. 2 receivers to the right for Washington, 1 to the left. Tight end in the package here this time. Washington fakes the handoff. He'll throw it out to number 4, A.J. King, complete. across the 40-yard line and tackled down at the 41. That almost looked like an RPO look there, kind of a flat route there, this time by the tight end in the package.
Right, kind of like an RPO tight end leak, right? So where you're faking that to the running back, and number 4, A.J. King, is coming across as that tight end, and he's got it wide open the flat. Big guy, A.J. King, but still able to move very successfully, right? Gets a couple on that play. 8 yards, actually.
2nd and 3 from the 42. This time it's a handoff to number 8, Hunter O'Neill. He is tackled right at or around the line of scrimmage. Short gain for Keenan, and another big third down coming up.
And now it's third down and about 2, I'd call it, right? So you got to think O'Neill's in the picture here, but we've seen the Raiders love passing on third down.
Be interesting to see what they do here. Still have the tight end in the package. Washington he doesn't take the snap, gets the Bulldogs to jump on the hard count, something that we've seen Jace Gross be so good at in the first 2 games. This time, Pendleton's defensive line, the one to jump. It'll be a first down on the 5-yard penalty for the Raiders. Unfortunate lack of discipline there for Jeremy Johnson's defense.
Right. The Raiders get one back there and are able to move the chains as well as doing that. That opens up the pass game and the run game, right? So now you don't know where they're going to go. You've got still that tight end with King, at the H-back position on the right side, and O'Neill lined up to the left. You got to think maybe you're going to go O'Neill to the pass.
Zy Collinmore coming off, a little shaken up, holding that right arm. We certainly hope Zy Collinmore's okay. Had that big play on the interception in the first half. And a little bit of an injury timeout. And the Pendleton coach is a little upset that the play clock is not rolling as they have made their substitution and are ready to go, feeling as if Keenan is getting a free timeout here. Defensive coordinator Jeremy Johnson not too happy with that at all.
Yeah, and it can't be because, right, if your defense is on the field with the ball, right, the whistle's running now, and the entirety of Keenan is in a timeout with their coaching staff, right? Your defense is ready to go. That's just unfair because your defense is not getting that rest time that, they should have been allotted if you're going to go into an official's timeout.
1st and 10 from their own 48-yard line for Keenan. Clock rolling, 2:30 and counting in the third quarter. Washington takes the snap, rolls out to his right, has a receiver. It is caught. That's Hollis, number 11, Dion Hollis, the sophomore, right around the sticks, and they will give him the first down into Pendleton territory at the 42-yard line.
So Washington took the snap out of shotgun, looked left to the slant. He had it open, but the pressure forced him to reconvene. He rolls out right off the spin and finds Hollis right at the sticks, able to convert it. Great job by Hollis, taking the ball and absorbing the contact to pick up the first down.
Washington joined in the backfield by O'Neill. The tight end, A.J. King, still in the package. Washington takes the snap, thinks about handing it off. Instead, he's going to try to make some things happen in the backfield. Got a Bulldog right there at the spot. Not going to get back to the line of scrimmage as he throws it away. That is going to be intentional grounding yet again as he was still inside that pocket, Dave.
Right, he's not only inside the pocket, but he also did not get that ball back to the original line of scrimmage, right? So there's no way he can get away with no intentional grounding there. A great job by Pendleton pressuring and just forcing a mistake by Washington, who he had a high snap, right? So that ball was supposed to go to Hunter O'Neill, not able to get it there, and instead costing his team over 20 yards of field position off of just the freak play in the backyard football situation, which we've seen him be good at, Sam.
Yeah, big-time loss for the Raiders. Fortunate break for the Bulldogs. Nice pressure dialed up on the blitz there by defensive coordinator Jeremy Johnson. Sets up a 2nd and a mile for the Raiders, who are just going to have to little by little try to get this back, but they're not going to immediately go down the field looking for a big play. 1:56 remaining here in the third quarter. Your Pendleton Bulldogs up 12-8 over the Keenan Raiders. Bulldogs were down 8-0 at the half, 12 unanswered since that point. 2nd and 23 from the 35 for Keenan, their own 35. Washington takes the snap. Got Trent Garner pressure in the backfield yet again, looking deep for number 1, Taheem McNeil. But in coverage right there is Jamari Johnson, who has 2 touchdowns offensively. Great coverage there brings up 3rd down and 23, and once again, that was Trent Garner with the quarterback hit in the backfield.
You just mentioned, Sam, great job by Jamari Johnson, but even better job by Trent Garner. He absolutely wrecked that play from the get-go. Trent, coming down from that buck linebacker position, so he's the right side linebacker out of the 3, right? He comes and hits the B gap, right? Initially, attacking the guard, getting outside. The guard can't even put his hands on him, right? He gets to the running back, O'Neal, and he just bullies him. He goes through him, and he jumps over, right? So he's in front of Desmond Washington as he's unleashing that deep ball, and he's rocking everyone back, just jumping up, blinding him. Big 3rd down now.
The Pendleton crowd on its feet. And we have a whistle before the snap. Yet again, it's going to be another delay of game. The Pendleton home crowd making its presence felt, even all these miles away from home in Pendleton, South Carolina. A lot more black and gold than blue and gold here in the crowd here at Newberry College. That's a testament to these great Bulldog fans.
Great Bulldog fans, definitely rattling the Keenan offense on that big 3rd down. But, man, Jarrett Neely's, he's done such a great job, as this season as an interim head coach. But those are the things that happen, right? You see the special teams mistakes, right? You see the offensive penalty mistakes, right? He was not the head coach to start the season. That was Ray McLeod. After the first game, Ray McLeod was not with the program, and it's Neely's shit, right? So he's got to find guys, and it's a whole new ball game.
3rd down and 38. Trent Garner with the quarterback pressure yet again. The pass is incomplete. Looking for Tyheem McNeil, and a big hit by Garner on Desmond Washington has him real shaken up. His helmet even came off. He's writhing in pain down there at the 10-yard line. Huge hit by Garner.
A great job by Garner, just absolutely decking Washington once again. Washington, going back with the ball up high, right? So he's reading that screen. He goes to the right side and just over the head of his intended receiver. It's a 4th down and literally, Sam, it's a 4th down and literally 10, 20, 30, almost 40 yards.
38 yards.
38 yards? Wow. Get your tape measures out, folks.
Hollis on the punt, but yet another delay of game. The 25-second play clock expires yet again, and Jamari Johnson, Trent Garner and company firing up this Pendleton crowd. You hear the cowbells in the background. Absolutely electric scenes here at Setzler Field.
And the Keenan coaches are outraged because clearly their special teams unit and offense has been rattled by the momentum of this Bulldog staff coming back.
Now a 4th down and 43 yards from the 25-yard line of Keenan, way behind the chains. Elijah Webb able to walk up a little bit closer, hoping to return his first punt of the game as all the previous punts have bounced in front of him.
Right, Hollis' style is more of a line drive, that's turning end over end instead of more of a sky high that really gives Abijah any opportunity to get under it.
Hollis gets the punt away. It's off the side of his foot. Another tough punt, but it does take a nice Keenan bounce inside the 40. Goes out of bounds at the 42. Another unreturnable punt for Abijah Webb. But the Bulldogs will take over on their own 42-yard line on the right hash here with 1:37 remaining in the 3rd quarter, enjoying that 12-8 lead.
We'll see where they spot that ball, but, a great roll by the Keenan staff. I think this end-over-end style, right, Hollis not a true punter, right? He's also playing slot wide receiver, right? He's not able to completely get under it, but it's kind of working out because they're getting a lot of rolls and a lot of spins where the electric Webb can't really take anything.
So 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs on the right hash on the 42-yard line, their own 42. Coming back out in doubles. Jenkins in the backfield with Gross. Gross takes the snap. 3-step drop. Looking to fire deep. He's got Jennings down the sideline, but underthrown just a little bit and broken up by Thomas Lovett.
Yeah, a little bit of a deflection there on that play, so not able to get it fully in the hands of Jenkins. It slows it down just a little bit where Jenkins overruns it. Gross, not able to get it completely there due to the deflection slightly on that over-the-top jump. But, man, what a great play design. Gets Jennings open wide on the wheel.
Really nice play call there by co-offensive coordinators Ike Allred and Jordan Williams. 2nd and 10 now from the 42. Jenkins in motion. Gross looking to throw again. Now he takes off. Gets back to the line of scrimmage, maybe a little more. We have Pendleton Bulldog down from the offensive line back behind the play. Hope he's all right. 1-yard gain brings up a 3rd and 9 with 1:17. It looks like we just got a cramp down here in the backfield for one of our offensive linemen.
Yeah, and understandable because they've been moving 100 miles a minute in this second half. Great job by number 5 for the Raiders of Keenan. Tyreek Davenport-Smith, not thinking that Jace wasn't moving for a second, right? He went straight to the ball, was able to deliver a pretty big hit as Jace was actually going down. Still a 3rd down and 9, right? So now it's a clear passing situation. You got to wonder, did they go behind the sticks or in front of the sticks, right? Did they go with that short pass on maybe a tunnel screen, maybe a quick pitch back, maybe a hitch, right, to a guy like Ham Scott or Abijah Webb? Did they go in the slot to Nash Cahaley or Sam Jennings over the middle, or did they go deep on the sideline?
Will definitely be a decision that will need to be made by the offensive coordinators Allred and Williams here. But definitely some things to build on. A nice play call there on 1st down, even though it didn't really work out for a big gain. Did have Sam Jennings down that right sideline open, and coming to his feet now is number 56 of the Bulldogs. That is Gaines Buchanan. Showered and collapsed as he's doing okay. He will have to come off the field for one play, though, since they stopped the game for him. 12-8, the Bulldogs on top. 1:17 remaining in this third quarter. Pretty long third quarter it's been. But a 3rd and 9 from their own 43-yard line for the Bulldogs. Big play here. Abijah Webb out to the left, the lone receiver on that side. 3 receivers to the right. And Deshaun Jenkins in the backfield with Jace Gross. Big 3rd down here. The clock rolling now. Gross takes the snap. He'll evade some pressure out to the right side. Tucks it and runs, and will be tackled right at the line of scrimmage. Kind of a little bit of an indecision there for Gross. Couldn't tell if he wanted to take off and run with it or try to throw it downfield. He's taken down by Jacoby Giles right there at the line of scrimmage. Actually a gain of 1.
Right. Sam, Gross's eyes were to the trip side the entire time, right? So when he didn't have anything he liked, he didn't feel comfortable going deep, he had to tuck it and run. And the defense saw that and just collapsed on him, just closing on him with blazing speed, just getting to the football. The entire defense swarmed him and, forces just a 1-yard gain on a quarterback run.
We do have a Keenan Raider down on the play, so we'll hear from our sponsors. Crenshaws TV and Appliance. Are you in the market for a new washer or dryer? How about a new refrigerator or a new range? Maybe you would rather have a new state-of-the-art TV and home theater system with surround sound. If so, be sure to go see the folks at Crenshaws TV and Appliance for the finest selection, advice, and service after the sale. Open 24/7 at www.tvandappliance.com. Proud sponsor of the Pendleton Bulldogs. Looking for a place to connect and build community? Join us at Foothills Church in Pendleton. We meet every Sunday at 10 a.m. at Pendleton High School. Whether you're new to exploring faith or looking for a new church home, you're welcome here. Come experience uplifting worship, a message with a real-life application, and a community that cares. That's Foothills Church. Sundays at 10 a.m., Pendleton High School. We can't wait to see you there. That last play brings up a 4th down and 8 for the Bulldogs. Sam Jennings on to punt, and Nike McNeil on to receive here as we wrap up this third quarter of action. Punt is on the way. It's a line drive, fielded by McNeil at the 30-yard line, comes off to the right side, stiff arms a couple of defenders, but finally dragged down as he crosses the 35-yard line. And with 36 seconds left in this third quarter, it'll be 1st and 10 for the Raiders on the right hash from the 37-yard line, moving from our right to left.
Yeah, good punt there by Sam. Goes straight to McNeil. He's able to take it to the right, and a great job by Turner Garner, number 20, brother of Trent, making that tackle and forcing him all the way out, running out of space, just suffocating him. Great job by the Pendleton coverage unit.
And another opportunity for this Pendleton defense to continue the great work that they've been doing, namely Trent Garner and Jamari Johnson. Zy Collingwood, kind of the defensive names that have stuck out so far in this one. They look to finish this third quarter strong. Snap taken by Washington on the zone read. Flag in the backfield. Washington's got a lot of green grass in front of him, gets out inside, or crosses the 50-yard line, rather, gets the first down, but hold on, there's the flag.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it's going to be great for the Raiders. Looks like that'll probably back them up because the flag is thrown by the official on the side of the zone read.
Going to call an illegal motion on the Raiders, so that will back them up. I believe that'll set up a 1st and 15 from the 32-yard line.
Unforced errors are key to why the Pendleton Bulldogs have been able to just really explode in the second half, right? Slowly but surely.
27 seconds remaining in the third quarter. 1st down and 15 from the 32 of Keenan. Keenan jumped out to an 8-0 lead, and that was the score at halftime. But 12 unanswered points by the Bulldogs on 2 Jamari Johnson receiving touchdowns out of the backfield have us here at a 12-8 Bulldog lead. 15 seconds and counting left in the third quarter. Washington takes a snap. This time he will give it to O'Neal. O'Neal over to the right side, gets back to the original line of scrimmage before the penalty and crosses it there for a 6-yard gain, bringing up a 2nd and 9. And that'll bring us to the end of the third quarter for the Bulldogs on top, 12-8.
Now for the final time, we'll be hearing for the rest of our sponsors. West Cox Law Firm in Pendleton is proud to sponsor the Bulldogs for help with real estate, wills, probate for your small businesses. Go see West Cox Law Firm in Pendleton. They're tough and quick on your legal needs as the Bulldogs on a Friday night. Go to West Cox Law Firm after tonight's victory party to make your appointment. With more than 70 years of proven performance and the best bankers in the industry, United Community Bank is one of the strongest and most secure banks in the Southeast. They're proud to have just won their 10th J.D. Power Award for Best Customer Satisfaction in the Southeast, and they were recognized by J.D. Power as the #1 most trusted bank. They're headquartered in Greenville, South Carolina, which makes them the largest bank headquartered in the Palmetto State. Visit the local Pendleton, South Carolina branch for all your banking needs. Guy's Pizza in Sandy Springs is the official pizza of Pendleton High School football. Come see us at Highway 76, right across the street from the Michelin plant in Sandy Springs. We're the home of the famous award-winning Bird Dog Pizza, along with many other specialty pizzas. We also have wings, calzones, stromboli, hot subs, dessert pizza, and much more. To place an order, call 864-375-1410. That's 864-375-1410. Or stop by and dine in. Proudly serving the area for over 10 years, Guy's Pizza in Sandy Springs. Thank you so much to all of our sponsors. We'll hear from them again in the post-game show.
This is Pendleton football brought to you by Longhorn Steakhouse on 105.1 WABB Spirit Radio. Fourth quarter of action getting underway here. The Bulldogs on top, 12-8. Big 2nd down and 7 for the Raiders. Washington takes the snap, fires out quickly on the right side. He has McNeil, but a host of Bulldogs right there swarming to the ball. Number 11, 13, and 53 there. Calhoun Mize, Dax Allen, and Fisher Sailors all right there to combine on the stop. Just a 2-yard gain for the Raiders. A 1-yard gain, bringing up a 3rd and 6.
Yeah, and the dog pound was barking there. They let him off the leash. Everybody just went all the way over to that right side. You know, you're getting pressure from the corner, holding their own, forcing the receiver back inside, and then, of course, Calhoun Mize and the front 7 coming over to squeeze him, shut it down.
3rd and 6 from the right hash for the Raiders at their own 41-yard line. Trip to the left, one receiver to the right. Washington looking downfield. He has a man, a little bit of miscommunication, though, as number 11 broke off his route. It sails over his head, incomplete. Feels like if Deion Hollis keeps running there, he might have a chance to make a play on that football.
He could have, because that was a pretty ball from Desmond Washington. A little bit of a wobbler, so that might have been the miscommunication after he had a double clutch going for Hollis deep on the seam. Another 3-and-out for the Raiders. And not going to be able to really convert this. They're going to have to punt it away.
They do send the punt team on. Got a lot of fortuitous bounces on these punts that have come up. Each one has come up short of Abijah Webb, but has then eventually rolled past him. So a lot of unfortunate breaks in terms of field position for the Bulldogs. We'll see if it's more of the same here off the foot of Hollis.
I think that's probably because they don't want Webb touching the football in space.
And this is the worst punt of the lot, and still getting a nice Pendleton bounce before it's down at the 43-yard line of Pendleton by number 50, Conrad Hampton. That one off the side of the foot by Hollis, who was the intended receiver on the previous play.
Right. So that gives the Bulldogs great field position, just really not able to get all of that at Hollis. You heard a very different sound than what you've gotten on his big punts. Right, where they're be able to get the height and just have a lot more speed on it because it's hitting it square. Right there, it kind of hit off the right side of his foot, so it went right and just went up in the air like a little bit of more of a thud than a swift kick on the ball.
So a 1st and 10 on the left hash, going from our right to left for the Bulldogs. Trips to the right, Abijah Webb, the lone receiver, to the left. Gross takes the snap, will hand it off to Jenkins. Jenkins cutting upfield after an initial run to the left. He'll gain about 6 yards on the play. A nice first down run from Deshaun Jenkins.
Right, it's been Jenkins in the second half. We really haven't seen much of Bryce Spear, right? You can see him on the sideline. It's been the Jenkins show, and he's been great at just, kind of taking that Le'Veon Bell approach, right, where he's patient and hitting his hole, right after he lets everything develop and come to him. That's been very successful.
Brings up a 2nd and 4 on their own 49-yard line for the Bulldogs. They'll give it again to Jenkins. Counter play off to the left. A lot of green grass before running out of bounds for Jenkins right at the 41-yard line, crossing into Keenan territory. A nice play call and a nice run there for Jenkins.
Right, and Jenkins runs right out of bounds into the sideline, right by Braden Spear with his helmet off. And look at Bryce Spear just, cheering on his fellow running back. Gotta love that between a running back duo, just absolutely gassing each other up and just making sure that thunder and lightning.
1st and 10 for the Bulldogs from the Keenan 41-yard line. Leading 12-8, looking to make it a 2-score game here on this drive. And might be a little too early to say the knockout blow, but a lot of momentum would be in the favor of the Bulldogs. Trips to the right this time. Abijah Webb, the lone receiver, to the left. Gross takes the snap, and it looks like miscommunication. Someone got a head start for the Bulldogs as a flag on the play, likely going to back the Bulldogs up 5 yards on the false start.
That keeps the Bulldogs, in that middle field lane, not able to cross the opposing 40, right? So kind of puts them in that no man's land firmly, unless they're going to convert.
Well, 1st and 15 after the penalty for the Bulldogs, backs them up to the Keenan 46-yard line, still in plus territory, though. Sticking it out with that same formation. Jennings, Cahaley, and Scott to the right receivers for Gross. Webb to the left. Gross takes the snap, looking for Webb down that left side, and not able to come down with it. Made an attempt to go for that one-handed catch. And Abijah Webb, the intended receiver, taking a tumble, and he'll get stretched out by the trainer as he might have caught a cramp there down the left sideline.
What the Raiders are doing now is they're disguising double coverage on Webb. They're lining up with a safety not over the top of him, but maybe more in a cover 3 look, or, if you want to say a halves look, more line up with the hashes, right? So then when Gross goes to throw, they're bringing that safety over immediately.
This time, a give once again to Jenkins. Jenkins makes the guy miss. Spins, loses the football right into the hands of Keenan's number 55, Warren Bailey. Not sure who put the hit on Jenkins, but they forced the ball out right into the air and into the hands of Warren Bailey. Keenan is going to take over right there.
And that's huge. That's something that they need. They need a spark right now, and that could very well be it. A great run by Jenkins on the draw play, great the late handoff by Gross. He's able to, take it left and then cut it back up the middle. I think on that spin move when he's trying to pick up the first down because he was just shy of it, he kind of spins and maybe gets hit by a hand or something that just forces the ball to pop up in the air right into the hands of big number 55, Warren Bailey.
Another unfortunate turnover for the Bulldogs. It's been a game on both sides of a lot of unfortunate breaks and penalties and weird turnovers, but the Raiders are going to take over at their own 35-yard line, trailing 12-8 with 10 minutes and 4 seconds, and it looks like there is a Keenan Raider down and being attended to on the far side of the field.
Right, no interception for the Bulldogs today, only fumbles. Very reminiscent of the Clemson versus Duke game from last year, right? So you get a game where you have talented offenses that both are moving the ball down the field, and then when it gets into crunch time, they're just not able to execute, whether it be not converting on downs, bad punts, unfortunate special teams returning, or fumbling the football.
Yeah, it seems as if the Bulldogs have been pretty consistent in crossing into opposing territory, into Keenan territory, but unfortunately, like you mentioned, once they get inside that 30-yard line, inside the 40-yard line, even into the red zone like we saw earlier, just not doing a great job holding on to the football. And Keenan looking to take advantage here on offense as they have it on their own 35-yard line, trailing by 4 with just over 10 minutes left here in this contest. Washington takes the snap, drops back, looking deep. Trent Garner in the backfield yet again. It's going to be he and number 53, Fisher Sailors, combining on the quarterback sack. Quick time play.
Trent got his hands on the lower half of Washington, and Sailors just able to finish it off as Trent was not letting go. He was like latched on like an alligator. He was bringing him down to the ground. Washington was spinning, moving, trying to get out of it, and Sailors just finished it off. Wow.
So way behind the sticks yet again, a loss of 10 for the Raiders. And Desmond Washington with a noticeable limp on that left leg. 2nd down and 20 from the 25.
Yeah, he's been getting rocked by Garner.
Trips this time for the Raiders. It's going to be a handoff to the running back. Actually, the wide receiver won, Tyheem McNeil, out of the backfield. Not much doing yet again as the Bulldogs swarm to the football.
Yeah, you see, in that situation, when it's 2nd and super long, I mean, the rule of football usually is, hey, let's run it twice and get out of this bad field position. Now, if you're in a desperation situation with under 9 minutes to play, down 4, and your offense hasn't really moved the ball, you can see the Raiders people, which they love, right? So now you get Tyheem McNeil, the wide receiver. You know, he's lined up in the backfield a bunch of times this game to try to get that burst of speed up, but he's not able to get much more than one.
3rd and 17 for the Raiders in the doubles formation here. Washington dropping back to throw. He had the receiver over the middle, but it's picked off. Who is that running it down the sideline? That is number 11. That is Calhoun Mize with a big play over the middle, picking off Desmond Washington and returning it all the way inside the 10-yard line to the 7. What a play!
Calhoun Mize, the middle linebacker, just staying in his zone, right? That's what's important, right? You don't want the zone to be rigid, but you don't want it to be loosey-goosey, where you're just flowing with the ball. He stayed right in that middle, right? Washington wanted the seam, right? Not able to get there because of a great rush by the Pendleton defense, and the ball goes directly to Calhoun Mize, who's able to take it as that middle linebacker all the way down the left sideline and move the ball into the red zone for the Bulldogs. Now, the Bulldogs haven't been great in the red zone, but this is at least an opportunity to get a field goal if they need to. I doubt that they go that way. I think it's 4 downs. I think you can punch it in.
It's 4 downs here from the 7-yard line for the Bulldogs. Certainly feels that way. The second interception of the game that Washington has thrown. Zy Collymore with the first one, and Calhoun Mize there with the big interception. Gross takes the snap. He'll hand it off to Jenkins. Jenkins fouling ahead inside the 5 to the 3-yard line. 2nd and goal from the 3. Nice run there from Deshaun Jenkins.
A great job by Deshaun Jenkins, not holding over that fumble into his next play, right? He hits the hole with aggressiveness, right? And he's able to pick up a good amount of yards on that chunk play. Now, moving it to 2nd and goal from the 2.5, man.
Absolutely a must-score situation for the Bulldogs to take whatever life is left out of this Keenan Raiders team. Bulldogs leading 12-8 here. And we're going to have a whistle before the snap yet again.
They bring in number 10, Ty Miller, the tight end, right? He's lined up as the H-back on the left side. And we saw last week on a broken play, right? So Gross faked to the running back. It was supposed to be a read option, right? He was maybe supposed to give it there reading the box, right? He wasn't able to, so he just had to make something happen, right? Because he saw everybody coming in, and he was able to find Ty Miller. Maybe they even saw something similar now.
2nd and goal from the 2. Zone read, and Jenkins is plastered behind the line of scrimmage at the 5-yard line. And it seems like either way you slice it there, you give it or you pull it there for Gross, a big loss.
Absolutely. The Raiders defensive staff definitely watching the same film we were, right? You see that play on the goal line in a very similar yardage down situation with also time as well, right? You're reading that read option, right? And this time, Jace isn't going to break it off into a pass play. He wants to keep it designed. He wants to avoid his mistake that he made last time, right? So Ty is just going as that slice blocker, going from left to right, and the play is just dead on arrival because of so many Raider defenders in there.
3rd and 5 from the 5. 3rd and goal from the 5, rather. 7 minutes exactly remaining in this one. And just before the play clock expires, Pendleton gets off a timeout, avoiding that devastating delay of game. Bulldogs use their 2nd timeout. They will have 1 remaining. And I have a little bit more time to talk about this 3rd down and goal from the 5. What do you want to see here in terms of play calling from the offensive coordinators, Allred and Williams? obviously have had a lot of struggles in the red zone so far. Don't necessarily want to set your team up in a position to turn the ball over yet again or have another disaster play like we saw in the first half. What if you're on the headset here calling the play, what are you going with?
I think that you have to go RPO, right? You got to give it an option to be on the ground. But I'd like to see Jace pull it, right? See Jace, maybe a design pull, right? If you're going to have him roll out, right, and he has the option to keep it or hit something dunking down, and if you really like the box, you give it to Spear or you give it to Jenkins, who's really been the hot hand, right? You can't go straight to the end zone, I don't think, right? I think you want less than a 4th and goal from the 5.
Big-time play coming up here as we are inside 7 minutes to go here in the ball game. The Bulldogs up 12-8 over the Keenan Raiders here at Newberry College. Trips to the right. Jenkins is the running back beside Gross. Lone receiver to the left is Abijah Webb. Gross takes the snap, drops back. Looking into the left corner of the end zone, it's picked off. It's picked off. He was looking for either Jenkins or Jennings in that left corner of the end zone, and a Keenan defensive back able to come down with the interception. Number 5, Tyreek Davenport-Smith on the interception of Gross, his first interception of the night.
Yeah, great job by Davenport-Smith. He's been great at covering the run and, coming down from that linebacker position. And, man, they just threw that ball, I don't know really what Jay saw there. Honestly, I think he maybe felt pressured and didn't want to throw it away, didn't want to, get it out of the end zone. He thought he had a chance there, and he did have his receiver over Fernandez. So you got to know that when you're a quarterback, hey, the ball has to spend some time in the air. So he throws it, and it's picked off in triple coverage on the flat ball. Of course, 2 receivers there, but man, just a crucial turnover in the red zone.
And breathing more life into a Keenan squad that felt like if you punched it in the end zone, they were just about content to pack it up and get ready for next week. With 6:50 remaining, you throw the interception. Now they have the ball on the 20-yard line with the opportunity to have the go-ahead score just down 4 points.
In what could have been a death sentence, Keenan now gets one of their last chances.
Great way to put it there by my partner, David Poley. Samuel Goodrow, David Poley, bringing you Pendleton football, brought to you by Longhorn Steakhouse right here on 105.1 WABB Spirit Radio. We'll be back next week at Woodmont. 1st and 10 from the 20 for the Raiders. Scrambling around yet again. Throwing it away is Washington. This time, pass makes it to the line of scrimmage, and he was outside the pocket. So it will not be an intentional grounding, but a nice quarterback pressure yet again by the Bulldogs, who have done a much better job of that in the second half. We called for it as one of our keys. Needed Jeremy Johnson, defensive coordinator, to dial up some blitzes. He's done just that.
And you've seen it not only from Trent Garner as that, 4th rusher from the Buck linebacker position, but you've seen it from Jamari Chapton, and you've seen it from Calhoun Mize.
So it brings up a 2nd and 10. Clock stopping on the incomplete pass from the 20-yard line for Keenan. This time it's a straight give to O'Neal off the left side. He's got some room. Hurdles the defender to the 40 and across to the 41-yard line. He finally tackled by Garner there.
Yeah, Trent Garner came from his Buck linebacker position after rushing the passer. He went all the way over to the left side, and he made that tackle. But a great job by O'Neal getting the second level and just using his blazing speed. That's something we really haven't seen much in the second half, but we know he has it, right? It's great to give him that ball if you're the Raiders coaching staff and let him work in the space as he was doing so greatly in the first half.
Raiders going a little bit quicker here. Trips to the right. Washington steps back to throw. Soft coverage complete to number 10. The ball comes out again. And number 21, Cody Williams, jumps on the football like a hungry dog. And the Bulldogs get it right back after yet another turnover.
Man, this might be one of the most crazy 12-8 football games I've ever watched in my life because both offenses have hummed at times, right? It's just turnovers, not really picks, right? Of course, you've got the 2 picks from Desmond Washington, number 7 for the Raiders at quarterback, but a lot of fumbles, balls on the ground, ball security. That's why coaches preach it so importantly. Just a great play design there, getting it to Nike McNeil on the quick hitch. And he's got a lot of space. He's working. And as, the safety comes in to tackle him and the corner squeezes it, he just loses that ball. That ball goes down, and the Pendleton Bulldogs recover in what just was, definitely a shot in the heart and, definitely super risky for the Bulldogs. Now they get it back, no harm, no foul.
And you'd like to see the Bulldogs, the Raiders with only one timeout left, you'd like to see them really bleed this clock, run the football, get some first downs, and maybe even put an exclamation mark on this game while draining the clock.
See, I don't think an interim coach is going to think like that ever, right? If you're down, right? If you're the Raiders, I mean, you got to really attack.
Oh, I'm talking about Pendleton right now.
Bulldogs right now. Okay, got it, right. So with the Bulldogs right now, you definitely want to bleed the clock, and you definitely want to make sure you're attacking on the ground.
Absolutely, and they will look to do just that. Starting on their own 44-yard line, we have a water break official timeout, once again, with 6:16 remaining in what has been one of the wilder 12-8 games you will ever see across any level of football. Several turnovers throughout this game, a lot of fumbles, a couple interceptions, 3 interceptions total, and probably 4 fumbles so far in this one.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be north of 3, right? And that's a crazy stat, let alone, right? So I think it might be 5, Sam. I mean, we'll definitely be giving you stat updates next week, as you'll hear on the coaches show, right? We'll talk a little bit about what happened with the head coach right now. But, man, ball security definitely has to be preached among both teams going into their games next week.
So a 1st and 10 from the right hash on their own 44-yard line for the Bulldogs. Doubles yet again. Gross takes the snap, will hand it off to Jenkins. Jenkins cuts in the backfield into the second level, takes a big hit from Nykeem McDougald, the safety there on the play, who just fumbled the ball, looking to pay dividends for that there, laying the big hit on Jenkins, and Jenkins is still down.
Yeah, Jenkins a little bit rattled on there, but he does a great job of cutting back inside from the left to the right and following his guards, and just forcing linebackers to get out of their designed position, right? Now he's down. He got hit pretty hard there, Sam, by the linebacker core as he was, getting to the end of that 7-yard run.
A nice gain of 7 by Jenkins. Definitely hope he's okay. Maybe got the wind knocked out of him there. Inside 6 minutes to play. It'll bring up a 2nd and 3 when we return to action. Bulldogs leading 12-8 in what has been a wild game in which the Bulldogs trailed 8-0 at half after a Tyhee McNeil first quarter 69-yard screen pass that he ran all the way 69 yards for a touchdown to make it 8-0 in the first quarter. Then in the third quarter, Jamari Johnson with a pair of receiving touchdowns out of the backfield on identical flat route plays, just switching sides of the field. Jamari Johnson giving the Bulldogs the lead in the third quarter, and that has been our score since the 3:57 mark of the third quarter. Still that way with 5:59 left in the game.
Yeah, I believe Jamari Johnson, 2 offensive snaps, 2 touchdowns. I think that's super impressive for a player like Jamari, who's usually going to be at that corner position. 5'7", 166 pounds on the stat sheet. Right, he's usually going to be playing defense, but he's got that game-breaking speed, and he's able to haul it in. Right, I guess that saying if cornerbacks don't have hands, that's why they're on defense. I guess that's not true for Jamari Johnson, number 2.
And Deshaun Jenkins receiving some applause after he's walking off the field under his own power. Does have his left arm around the trainer, but the trainer's still making him walk under his own power. Good to see Jenkins doing okay after that big hit, bringing up a 2nd down and 3.
Now you're going to see number 6, Bray Spear, back in on the action after it's been Jenkins. Now you get maybe a little more power with Spear, who hasn't been in a while.
I believe that's actually number 6, Jamari Chapman.
Oh, that is number 6, Jamari Chapman. Excuse me, I got 9 and 6. Yeah, that's Jamari Chapman. You're not seeing Bray Spear.
And they will give it to Chapman on the zone read, and he is met by a swarm of white jerseys behind the line of scrimmage. Going to be a loss of about 2, bringing up a 3rd down and 5. Feels like the Bulldogs really need to convert here and take some more time off this clock. Still 5 minutes and 30 seconds to go.
Right. And number 6, Jamari Chapman in there. Excuse me, not Bray Spear. I got 6 and 9 confused. Wow,
haven't seen Spear out there in a while. It's been a steady dose of Jenkins here in the second half.
Yeah,
and of course Jamari Johnson on those 2 plays.
Yeah, definitely something's up a little bit there, but it'll be Jamari Chapman, the 5'9", 174-pound rover, usually the sophomore playing defense. He's going to be taking the running back snaps, it looks like.
They'll hand it to him again, coming off that left side, and he is tackled after a 1-yard gain, bringing up a 4th down. And decision time for the Bulldogs. You like to think they probably are going to punt here, but
Ross looks like he's coming off the field.
certainly something to think about. A little bit of hesitance there, but the Bulldogs indeed will come off the field and get ready to punt.
Yeah, the ball placed directly on the 50-yard line in a 4th and 4 situation. So Sam Jennings away with half the field to work with. They'll boot it.
Jennings gets the snap. Line drive, rugby-style kick, takes a nice Bulldog roll inside the 20, inside the 10, and down at the 9-yard line of Keenan. And with 4:11 remaining, the Raiders will have it right there on their own 9, needing a 91-yard drive to take the lead. And the Bulldogs looking to continue to keep the Raiders out of the end zone as they have since the 3:36 mark of the first quarter.
Yeah, what I've said in the second half is you can't expect Keenan to go scoreless in the second half. That's exactly what the Pendleton Bulldogs have done. They've expected it. They've had that confidence in their defense, which they should, because their defense has been great. You know, they've picked up stops exactly where they need to. They've picked up turnovers on the ground and in the air. This defense is the key to the Pendleton Bulldogs winning this game if they end up closing it out.
1st and 10 for the Raiders on the left hash, 3 receivers to the right. Washington takes a snap. He's going to scramble out to his right. Forced to throw it away short of the receiver, Tyheem McNeil. Nothing doing as pressure in the backfield yet again by the Bulldogs, as has been a theme of this second half. 4:06 remaining now, 2nd down and 10.
Washington was working all the way to the right in his own end zone, so he had no choice but to get away. Good thing there was an intended receiver in the area. And now, Sam, do you wonder if you're going to run the ball here on the second down? Maybe give yourself a little bit of room to work with? Because you have a guy in Hunter O'Neill who's been electric on the ground.
Yeah, especially on those outside runs, the buck sweeps, the outside zones, has been incredibly effective. I think I would run the ball here. It'll be interesting to see what Keenan's coaching staff decides to do. Washington takes the snap. They will give it to O'Neill. And O'Neill fights his way forward for about 5 yards. Maybe 6 even, setting up a 3rd down and manageable.
And that's much needed for a guy who's not super big, O'Neill. He's got a lot of strength to him, right? I mean, he's able to carry tacklers and just use his, big burst of speed and that, energy to turn it into force, right? To just keep on going and keep on.
3rd and 4 from the 15 for the Raiders. Undoubtedly 4-down territory here. The Bulldogs need a couple big stops. 3:30 remaining in the game, doubles for the Raiders. Washington takes the snap, has a lot of pressure in the backfield yet again, evades it again, and is finally wrestled down. And there is a flag at the tail end of the play. Going to be interesting to see who that is going to be on.
Coach Jeremy Johnson, the defense coordinator, clearly dialing up the pressure there. Washington, after ducking the first few defenders, he completely disregarded the pass options. He's like, hey, I got to do this myself because everybody's coming at me. And he was able to get back to the line of scrimmage there. Let's see what this flag could be.
Had the escape artist trait activated. That time did Washington. And it's going to be a face mask against the Bulldogs. That is a real backbreaker. It'll add 15 yards onto the end of that scramble by Washington and give the Raiders that much-needed 1st down from their perspective.
Yeah, and that's why sometimes you just let your playmakers make plays, right? Washington, he's able to generate enough alertness, right? Enough emergency reaction on the defense to where everybody's just got to go get him. Everybody's just, hunting, killing the carrier, right? And they come and it generates a face mask. So that's when you get a dual-threat quarterback like Desmond Washington with a cannon and, absolute, horse hooves for legs, just absolutely moving, man. Like, he can move. He generates that 1st down draw on the face.
So a fresh set of downs for the Keenan Raiders, trailing 12-8. Your Pendleton Bulldogs on top. Inside 3 minutes remaining in this contest. 1st and 10 from the 30 on the left hash. It's a direct snap to McNeil. He will hand it off to, I believe, Hunter O'Neill, yes. So kind of that same package we saw earlier, except with Tyheem McNeil handing it off, as I believe it might have been Desmond Washington's helmet coming off on the previous play, forcing the hand of the Raiders there to put Tyheem McNeil in at quarterback for one play. Gain of 4 there for the Raiders, setting up a 2nd and 6. Clock still ticking, though.
Yeah, we're under 2.5 to play now, and I like that last play. I like getting O'Neal the ball, any way possible, right? Washington has to go out of the game. Get Tyheem McNeil in. Get that extra receiver.
Two receivers each side. It's a bad snap off the foot of Washington. Almost taken down by Garner, and then Garner gets up and takes him down on the second effort. A big-time sack and a major loss for the Raiders. That might be the crusher.
Sam, another bad snap. We've seen it on both teams, right? We've seen it from number 54 for the Pendleton Bulldogs, Walker Dunlap. We've also seen it, right, for the Raiders with center Quayshawn Hampton, number 71. Bad snaps have been killers, just like those fumbles have been killers. And, man, those 4 Bulldogs were just at him. They stayed with him the whole time, and they kind of all slammed him at once. It was great team unity, and, man, a big loss there on the scramble. Just trying to pick up anything off the bad snap by Desmond Washington. Sam, what do we got here?
We got third down a long way. We got 3rd and 27 coming up.
Wow, a lot of really, really long 3rd and 4th downs for the Keenan Raiders today.
So the clock stopped momentarily for an injured player. The clock rolling now, though. 18 seconds on the play clock. 1:37 and counting down on the play clock.
We know that the play clock has been a big-time problem for the Raiders so far. It's already below 6.
5 seconds left on the play clock. They're going to have to hurry. They do get the playoff. Desmond Washington looking deep. Evades a would-be tackler. Firing down the field, down the right sideline is number 1. And is it caught? No, I believe it hit the ground. Intended receiver there was Tyheem McNeil. Abijah Webb there in coverage. Made a play on the football, and I got scared because the ball ended up in the hands of Tyheem McNeil, but it must have bounced first, and that brings up 4th down and 27 with 1:12 here. The Bulldogs get to stop here. They win the game.
Absolutely, no doubt about it. McNeil is not having any time to throw the deep ball, right? So I think maybe if you're the offensive staff for Keenan, you got to roll him out right? You got to get people going from their left side, right? Maybe you line up in a doubles, right? You have the 2 guys on the left, and that's what they're talking over right now as they just call a timeout. Maybe you have 2 guys on the left, maybe crossover, maybe a post route, and you have guys on the right going up, right? And maybe somebody cutting in at the, first down marker, right? Because he's not having enough time to just, sit back and throw 4 verts as he did in the first half, right? And that's a big change in what's made Washington kind of, so crazed, right? So worried and really frantic to force, a decision and throw that ball. It's led to a couple of interceptions, and it led to, just a lot of madness there.
Keenan spending their final timeout. We're going to hear from our sponsors for the last time. With more than 70 years of proven performance and the best bankers in the industry, United Community Bank is one of the strongest and most secure banks in the Southeast. They are proud to have won their 10th J.D. Power Award, recognized by J.D. Power as the #1 most trusted bank. Visit the local Pendleton, South Carolina branch for all your banking needs. 4th and 27, Dave. This is the game right here. 1:12 remaining. 4th and 27 from the 13-yard line for Keenan. They have no timeouts left, so Pendleton can just knead the clock out if they get to stop here. Empty backfield for Washington. Washington has all kinds of time, only a 3-man front, but Trent Garner has something to say about it. He's going to fire deep. It's like a punt up in the middle of the field, up the ground, and batted down by Zy Collymore. Great defense. The Bulldogs are going to win it here, up 12-8 with 1:01 left. They can just knee it out and go home 2-0, Dave.
Wow. What a game to win. A comeback victory down 8-0. The Bulldogs are going to win the game 12-8. And, man, a great job by Trent Garner as being one of only 3 down linemen to push the quarterback. The defensive staff of Coach Jeremy Johnson sending everybody else back into coverage. A great job by Desmond Washington getting the ball there. Didn't think he was going to get there, but when he got there, it was in triple coverage to Tyheem McNeil. No cigar.
Huge defensive stand there for the Bulldogs. And while it was an ugly win, a win is a win regardless, especially when you are away from home. It is a home game for the Bulldogs, but here at a neutral field, huge to get this non-region victory here in Week 1 to go 2-0. Jace Cross takes the snap, will knee it for about a 7-yard loss, but all that matters is that clock is ticking. They can get it down to about 12 seconds before kneeing it one final time, and your Pendleton Bulldogs are going to be 2-0. Abijah Webb hyping up the crowd. We will rock you playing over the speakers. The vibes are high here at Setzler Field for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, what a great job by the Bulldogs. You know, what I opened up with is something that Coach Howell said this was not another Friday, right? They had to come down to Newberry, right? Big stage, big opponent that you never played before, right? And they had to overcome adversity to do it, but they'll win the football game.
Ross takes the final snap of the game, knees it down, and the clock will expire. Final score, Pendleton Bulldogs 12, Keenan Raiders 8. Thank you so much to all our great sponsors, Rains on Exchange, Rogers Petroleum Incorporated, Guy's Pizza, Black Tie of Anderson, Pendleton Historic Foundation, Gettin Chili Ice Cream Truck, Wes Cox, Attorney at Law, Liberty Hall Bed and Breakfast, United Community Bank, Foothills Church, Crenshaws TV and Appliances, Tiger Express Wash, McDougald's Funeral Home, Mac.bid, Lindley Park Post-Acute Care, and our title sponsor, of course, Longhorn Steakhouse. This is the post-game show sponsored by Rains on Exchange. What a game, David. Extremely sloppy, a lot of turnovers, kind of towards that, almost 10 turnovers in that game, a lot of fumbles, a few interceptions, but all that matters is our Pendleton Bulldogs are about to head home down I-26, 2-0.
Definitely not your traditional 12-8 game. Usually you're expecting a slugfest, running the ball, a lot of 3-and-outs. You didn't get that here. You got moving the ball. You got offensive football, right? You just got a lot of turnovers, balls on the ground, and that's exciting. That's what you want as a fan. You want to be able to buy into it. You want to live and die by every play, and that's what the Pendleton Bulldogs gave you tonight, and they gave you a win as well.
Just to recap the game, if you joined us late, it was sort of a slugfest, a lot of turnovers. Tyheem McNeil for the Raiders got the scoring started in the first quarter with 3:36 to play. Keenan took an 8-0 lead after a Tyheem McNeil 69-yard touchdown reception on a screen pass from Desmond Washington. That was the halftime score. As we mentioned, a lot of issues scoring in the red zone for Pendleton, a lot of unfortunate mistakes and turnovers and flags, but Pendleton in the third quarter gets a pair of touchdown catches from Jamari Johnson on flat routes to the right and to the left, where the score was 12-8 with 3:57 remaining, and that is your final score after several turnovers, penalties, and saw just about everything tonight here at Newberry College.
Yeah, great shout-outs, Sam. I want to highlight some players. Jace Gross really settled down in the second half, and that was key. He looked a little bit, out of his comfort zone. Didn't have a lot of Abijah Webb for a period of time. Didn't have Ray Spear for the second half. And he was able to really get calm and get, the ball to all the talented playmakers, right? Deshaun Jenkins, number 23, was a great runner of the football for the Pendleton offense and provided a lot of yards and a lot of big plays on first and second down, right, as well as some third down conversions. He gave you every type of run that you needed in between and outside of the tackles. Abijah Webb, of course, got to mention him, right? He was huge. And got to mention number 2, Jamari Johnson, usually a DB, played big time on offense today. He has the 2 touchdowns. He's the reason that the Pendleton Bulldogs are walking out of Newberry 2-0.
Fantastic game. The Bulldogs on top 12-8. This is the Rains on Exchange post-game show. Looking ahead to next week, the 2-0 Bulldogs will face the 1-1 Woodmont Wildcats at Woodmont High School next week at 7:30. We'll be on at 7 p.m. with the coverage next week. The Bulldogs 2-0. Looking forward to that matchup already next week. David, before we go, would you like to give out any players of the game?
No players of the game. We'll wait for the coach show to do that, but I do want to give a big shout-out to Jeremy Johnson, right, defensive coordinator. He just made an absolute Hall of Fame, unbelievable, round of applause adjustments at halftime, right? Great job for head coach Grayson Howell and, his offensive staff as well, but the entire staff really did a great job. Specifically, Coach Jeremy Johnson was dialing up that pressure. It wasn't the same thing. He forces interceptions. He forces, pressures, got the ball on the ground. A great job by Coach Jeremy Johnson, to close out the win for the Bulldogs.
Gritty win for Coach Howell's squad. He's addressing his team right now, right down in front of us. This has been Pendleton Football, brought to you by Longhorn Steakhouse on 105.1 WABB Spirit Radio. For Samuel Goodrow, for David Poley, for Jeannie and Nick back at the studio. God bless. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next week.
Thank you for listening to Spirit Radio, Anderson Praise and Worship Gospel Station. If you're enjoying the music, if you're being encouraged by the message,